production of Hockey Night in Oswego. Only on WTOP.
The last weekend of the regular season is upon us, and the Oswego State Lakers will kick things off tonight with a battle against the Buffalo State Bengals in the Wheelhouse. Welcome into the Moreno Campus Center Ice Arena and into Hockey Night in Oswego. Alongside Mike Morano and Pat Machado, I'm your host, Brian Rudman. Now, tonight promises to be a hotly contested battle, and the last time the Lakers took home ice, we saw nearly whiteout-like conditions here in the Wheelhouse when they faced off with Geneseo. So how's the atmosphere looking in the Wheelhouse tonight, guys?
When Geneseo went up 2-0, you could hear a pin drop in this place. But as Oswego began to mount their comeback, like you mentioned, we saw noise levels that were probably above whiteout in my opinion, and that's huge for a team that feeds off their crowd.
Yeah, definitely. Crowd control is definitely big here. They have to be rocking. The momentum really does play a big part for this team, so they need to be in it as much as possible, no matter if they're down or if they're up, no matter what.
Now, before we dive into this game in particular, let's take a look at the other games going on around the SUNYAC tonight.
It's a critical night in the SUNYAC, a do-or-die game for both Fredonia and Cortland. You lose, you're pretty much eliminated from the playoffs. If Plattsburgh can get a win, they're going to knock out Fredonia as well. So we're going to start seeing the picture slowly begin to take place as the bottom teams get eliminated and we get our full playoff standing.
Yeah, and a lot of these teams are just so close in points, too, that really anything can happen this week. Every win means something, and it really can mean a lot here for this playoff picture.
Now, there are a lot of big games tonight, but there's also a big one tomorrow between Brockport and Geneseo. They both of them locked into their positions, and so is Oswego right now.
The Brockport game was huge. They won their rescheduled game because of the snowstorm 3-2. They're now 2 points ahead of Buffalo State, but Buffalo State owns the game in hand. So Buffalo State can retie that back up, and we'll take a look at the standings later, but this could go to the second and maybe the third tiebreaker.
Then if you take a look there, Geneseo dominating in stat-wise. Expect them to try to finish as strong as possible because they're the favorites for the SUNYAC, and they can make a deep run in the championship as well.
Now, you take a look at the SUNYAC standings, you see Geneseo and Oswego locked into their spots, Brockport and Buff in the playoffs, but the rest of it, a lot of movement could happen in this last weekend.
Yeah, like I said before, they're so close in points here that any win could really mean anything. Oswego just has to expect really anything at this point. Nothing is a sure lock, and nothing will be official, of course, until the final game is played.
One thing to note is that Potsdam is finished with their conference slate for the year, so all that they can do is pretty much watch and wait for things to unfold.
Yeah, a lot of big games in the SUNYAC now heading into the weekend, as we saw there. Oswego and Geneseo both locked into their positions, but what kind of shakeup could we see this weekend thanks to these big games?
Well, for one, this game tonight is extremely important. If Buffalo State can get the win over Oswego State, we get that tie. If Oswego State can win, they might face Buffalo State in the semifinals, depending on how the play-in games shake up.
Yeah, especially if they face Buffalo State. This could be a preview of what can be looking forward to soon later on as well. So they have to play this game. They have to find out their strengths and weaknesses as they're going into this.
All right, we're going to go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll really dive into what it means for the Lakers to be locked up in the 2 seed. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. Once again, alongside Mike Morano and Pat Machado, I'm Brian Rudman. Now, the Lakers will head into this weekend with their spot in the SUNYAC playoffs all locked up thanks to their dominant performance against Morrisville last weekend. And this week, I sat down with some of the players and coaches for the Lakers to talk about how important it was for them to lock up the 2 seed. State head into the weekend with their spot in the SUNYAC playoffs all locked up. Thanks to 2 dominant wins over SUNY Morrisville last weekend, the Lakers clinched the 2nd seed in the SUNYAC playoffs and have guaranteed a bye through the first round.
It's huge. I just think this time of year, rest is a weapon for everybody, and not having to play on that Wednesday is a big deal, and I've had to do it a couple times, and I mean, it's just one less game you have to play. And I think getting to watch those games on the Wednesday night, kind of at your own house, and then you got a couple more days after that to prepare for who you're going to play, I think it's a weapon for sure.
Despite having a playoff spot already clinched, the Lakers still know they have plenty to work on and need to take these games seriously in order to improve.
You know,
challenge is to not lay back on that, to continue to use these 2 games to get better, to get stronger, because ultimately we want to have a good long run in the playoffs, and in order to do that, we need to keep getting better.
Oswego will come into the weekend with some high confidence. The Lakers have looked much stronger in recent weeks and will look to continue it this weekend.
I think we just keep doing what we've been doing. Kind of these last couple of games have been really well for us. We've been playing as a team, and it's something that we've been kind of struggling throughout the whole season to stay consistent with. But over these last couple of games, we've been starting to play a lot better. So just kind of keep doing what we've been doing, keep practicing the way we've been doing it, and yeah, I mean it's fun time of the year. So just show up to the rink, have some fun, and hopefully it goes well.
Now the Lakers will look to finish off the regular season strong and go into the playoffs on a high note. Now, they talked about getting that 2 seed. How important is it to have that bye?
Well, the last time that Oswego State had a playoff game that wasn't the final in an arena that wasn't the Marano Campus Center was 2015-16, and that one was at the Ronald B. Stafford Ice Arena, and that one was a loss for the Lakers in double overtime. Now, you take a look at how important that bye is. You guarantee yourself another home game, and Oswego's student section is one of the best in all of Division III. So when you have that kind of home support around you, not just with the students, but with the town, it's a critical thing to have, especially when you're 1 win away from the final.
Yeah, now, if you could also have the momentum behind you as well, and have the city behind you as well, it's just going to be well for them as well.
Now, looking at how things stand coming into the weekend in the national pictures, what are we looking at in our projected national rankings right now?
Well, the first NCAA rankings came out this past Tuesday, and using those, this is our projected tournament for the 2020 season. You see Norwich, Utica, Geneseo, and Hobart all getting byes. Now, if Oswego State can manage to crack the tournament, which we believe will only happen if they win the SUNYAC final, we'll see them at around the 9 seed. So they're looking at a potential matchup with Hobart or Utica in the first round, should that stay the same.
Exactly, and they just have to worry about going through SUNYAC right now before they can worry about the national championship. They have to be able to sneak in there and try to get past Geneseo and go in there. So they have to take it one step at a time, but I truly think they can maybe do this.
Now, how likely is it for Oswego to get into the national rankings, and how impactful are these next 2 games to close out the regular season?
It's very likely. I don't think we're going to see much of a shift in the pairwise. Oswego is currently 20 in that rankings, and the current cutoff is number 7 to receive an at-large bid. But it's 1 win. 1 win is all you need. It's at home, and then you go face Geneseo at the IRA, coming off of a much bigger momentum than you did at the beginning of the season when you took multiple game misconducts at the IRA.
And it's also very important, too, just to win out the season. Momentum is big there. Coming off Morrisville, shutting them out 11-0 over the weekend, not even allowing a goal, is a big confidence booster for them. And if you're able to win today and also win tomorrow, you don't want to lose any of these games just because any momentum that you have can just destroy any confidence that you have.
Now, we've talked about how the most likely path into the NCAA tournament is through the SUNYAC. Let's take a look at what the SUNYAC bracket looks like if the season ended tonight.
So like we mentioned, Geneseo and Oswego both clinching their way into the semifinals. Geneseo will face the winner of Brockport and Cortland, and Oswego State will face the winner of Buffalo State. And right now it's Potsdam. We anticipate that to be different, assuming that Cortland can come out with a win tonight, as Fredonia is last in the conference.
Yeah, exactly. Anything is to change here, and Oswego could even get another preview, like I said before, against Buffalo State if it is to pan out that way as well. So they have to treat these games with a lot of importance as well, just because you could be seeing this in the future.
Now, we talk about Oswego's season, and it hasn't exactly gone the way they planned it to. A lot of losses in the middle of the season. Is that because they've played a kind of vanilla brand of hockey?
I don't really think it was more of a vanilla brand of hockey in the early part of the season. Yeah, we saw like a big difference in physicality between this year's team and last year's team. I think the vanilla brand of hockey is more of a danger tonight. Like we mentioned, not much going on in terms of the standings. If they take maybe like 75% instead of 90 or 100% effort in this game, you could potentially see some big shakeups happening in the SUNYAC.
Now, has Oswego played up to the level of the other teams who will be going into this tournament most likely?
I think so. I think that they face a lot of adversity. I think they face a lot of issues that they've had to fix. But I still do think they play aggressive enough. I think they still play up to par. It's just that they face a lot of adversity, and now it's just a matter of just figuring out how to get around that.
Now we have to go to break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll dive into this matchup. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. Welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. Once again, alongside Mike Morano and Pat Machado, I'm Brian Rudman. Now tonight promises to be what could be one of the most entertaining games of the year that we've seen. These two teams come in with similar stat lines but different styles of play. Buffalo State comes in with a strong penalty kill and a physical brand of hockey, but they can also light up the scoreboard with the Lakers' powerful offense. And last year when these two teams met in this building, it was one of the most entertaining games we've seen in recent memory here in the Wheelhouse. So earlier in the week, in preparation for this game, I went back with Oswego State women's hockey player Emily Gustafson to look at what Oswego's done in their recent outings. Back here in the Al Roker studio with Emily, taking a look at some game film. This first play comes from the 5-3 Lakers loss against Geneseo 2 weeks ago. This is one of Geneseo's goals. Emily, take us through what went wrong for the Lakers here.
Yeah, the Lakers were initially in great position. You just got to play man-to-man once it goes to the point. And if you rewind back, you got to see that Pissarro here, it's just fixable with communication, but Pissarro needs to stay with number 9, and then Spink needs to stay with that net front. Well, DeCarlo needed to go straight to that point shot, and it cost them multiple times in that game where the point shot would get the goal. Yeah, the Lakers got bit by the point shot multiple times in that game. Now, going back to last weekend, the Lakers outscored Morrisville 11-0 between the two games. Here's one of their goals. Take us through what went well here. Yeah, you can see there's really great screen front coverage. If that goalie can't see what's going on, it can't set, and it has to look around that player in order to block the shots, and that's where you get a quick goal. Yeah, the Lakers doing a good job disrupting the goalie's vision. Now to the next play, the Lakers continuing to move the puck well in the offensive zone on Saturday night. Yeah, it's great to keep that puck moving, so it forces all those players to be disoriented and know where their players are. And if you move it around, especially when they have the puck, you can get a quick tap-in goal like there. Now moving to the Lakers on the defensive side, it was the odd man rush that did a good job. Yeah, just a great job pushing the forward to the outside, and then you get a quick regroup break out of the zone. Yeah, that's really important for the Lakers. Definitely something that's going to be worth taking a look at tonight. Emily, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. We'd like to thank Emily for taking the time to do that with us. Now, guys, let's take a look at how these two teams compare on their season stats. These two squads have looked pretty similar in the stat scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, as you see, Oswego 4 goals a game, dominating in the goal selection as they try to. When they win these games, they always try to dominate in the shot selection and also face off. They try to just take as much time in possession as possible here. And with a team that has such similar stats, it's going to be a challenge for them going into this.
The one thing that strikes out to me is the shots on goal. Oswego State takes a lot more shots on goal, about 8 shots on goal more than the Buffalo State Bengals do. And their power play is a lot stronger as well. We talked a lot about the Buffalo State penalty kill, but they're going to want to stay out of the box against a power play for Oswego that has gotten better as weeks have gone by.
Now, moving on to these, both these teams are in the SUNYAC, obviously. How have they looked against common SUNYAC opponents?
They've looked good. Buffalo State, 85% penalty kill in conference, as well as 17 goals in the third period. That means they score a lot in the end there. It's hard to really shut them out here. So if you're Oswego, you got to be able to shut them out as time is winding down here.
Yeah, and Oswego State does statistically have a better power play in conference play as opposed to non-conference teams. So again, special teams, we talked a lot about it. It's as critical as ever.
Yeah, special teams always critical in these big SUNYAC matchups, especially with a team like Buffalo State that's strong on the penalty kill. Now, as puck drop approaches, who are you guys keeping an eye on tonight in this matchup, starting with Buffalo State?
Yeah, starting with Buffalo State, I'm going to go with defenseman number 5, Cody Simmons. He's 6 points on the year, but he leads the team in plus-minus with a +7. He's a younger guy and only has taken 1 penalty thus far in the season. So if he can stay out there, he's your stay-at-home defenseman that's going to play shutdown defense against a fire-powered offense in Oswego State.
Now, Mike, what about you? Who are you keeping an eye on tonight?
For Buff State, I'm going to go with Vadim Vizjonkin. I think he's a huge threat here for the Lakers here. Matt Wallen's going to get to that as well as he's going to brush more about it here. 11 goals, 13 assists, 24 points total, and also 87 shots on the season. He takes a lot of shots, and they're going to have to be able to silence him here because if he's be able to dominate the shot selection, that's a lot more adversity for Kozakowski to take in this game.
Now, switching to the other side of things, who should the Laker faithful be keeping an eye on tonight in this matchup?
I'm taking the lone freshman on the Lakers squad, number 23, Alex DiCarlo. 6th on the team in scoring. He has 16 points on the year, and tonight he's going to be on the first line with Becerro, who leads the team in assists. So having that offensive power on your wing, we know who he's going to go to. He's got Emerson on that left wing. It should be interesting to see how he plays with the top scorer in Becerro.
DiCarlo is certainly going to get plenty of opportunities tonight. Now, Mike, who are you keeping an eye on in the green and gold tonight?
I'm taking the new guy here, Mac Lewis, who recently just joined the team on February 1st. Scored his first goal against Morrisville when Oswego had a field day with them over the past weekend. I really like his physical appearance that he has here. Against Geneseo, he was able to really make his presence known and really may have these aggressiveness, and when he's aggressive like this, it sends this message out to the rest of the guys as well to be aggressive always, but not take these bad penalties as well.
Now as the lights go down behind us and we get closer to puck drop, it's time to take a look at who you guys think will win this game. Let's get to some predictions. Pat, let's start with you. Who do you have in this one?
So I think Oswego State's going to play a very experimental game tonight, given that they have nowhere to go in terms of the standings. It's going to be a close one. I think Buffalo State's going to be right into the end. I'm taking Oswego State over Buffalo 3-2 in overtime.
Mike, who do you think is going to take this one home tonight?
Taking a look here, Oswego 11-0 run against Morrisville. They've been really great offensively, and Buffalo State hasn't scored a goal in the past couple games as well. I got Oswego 5-2 in this one.
I'm going to close it out. I have Oswego 4-1 in this one. They beat Buffalo State 5-0 earlier in the season. And talking to the team this week, they know they have to take this team seriously. They know they have to take this game seriously and close out the regular season on a high note. Now, one last question. How important is it for Oswego to close out the season this weekend with some strong performances?
You want 2 wins. You would always want wins. It's a big weekend with senior day being tomorrow. Obviously, as for the 13 seniors on this squad, you want to close out your final regular season with 4 points in the conference.
Yeah, definitely. And hearing them in interviews and hearing them in warm-ups, this team is motivated. They want to close out. They want this just as bad, and they want to end on a good note. They face a lot of adversity throughout the whole season, and they want to just silence everything, and they just want to really just show what they could actually win here and make some noise in the SUNYAC Conference.
Now that's all the time we have here for the pregame show, but don't go anywhere as the rest of the night we'll be back with intermission reports and the postgame coverage. But for now, we're going to go to break. On the other side, Luke Owens and Matt Watling bring you your keys to the game, followed by Puck Drop. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10.
Hello and welcome inside the Steve Levy press box. Luke Owens alongside Matt Watling as we get ready for some SUNYAC hockey. Oswego State taking on Buffalo State in a game that maybe doesn't have the allure to it, but there are still big implications in this game in terms of playoff seeding.
Yeah, there are for Oswego State. They're all just locked up in the 2 seed. But again, you want to continue to roll into the playoffs on a strong note. Oswego State coming in won a pair of games last weekend against Morrisville. But really for Buffalo State, it's all about seeding here. They need to get 2 points over on Brockport, who's playing Geneseo this weekend. So if you expect Geneseo to win that game, Buffalo State, he's got to win one of these 2 games either tonight here against Oswego State or tomorrow against Cortland to lock up the 3 seed and home ice advantage for the first round.
And of course, Oswego State already locked into that 2 seed, as you mentioned, and they'll have home ice next weekend. But this could be a matchup we potentially see next weekend, so we'll have to see what both teams do. And for Buffalo State, they're a team that kind of plays, a good offensive game, but they're also going to allow a lot of shots on goal.
Yeah, they do. They allow about 31 shots per game, and they're really a physical and a heavier team than you expect. A team like Geneseo much faster.
And with that being said, Matt, let's jump to our keys to the game. First with Buffalo State, what do the Bengals have to do to come on top tonight?
They've got to continue your penalty kill excellence. Last year, 72%. This year, 83.3. 32nd best in the nation, 2nd best in the SUNYAC this year. Oswego State coming into this game is on an 8-game power play goal scoring streak. And since that dating back to that Cortland game, second, you've got to establish your gap control. The best way to mitigate a speedy offense like Oswego State is to use your physicality and use those gap control, to combat those line rushes. And finally, roll 4 lines. Oswego State, again, so fast. You've got to be able to get your big scorers like Vadim Fishjonkin, kind of get their legs going and keep them well rested throughout the game. And for Oswego State, keep Fishjonkin quiet. He's the 3rd leading scorer on the roster. And they're 10-3-2 when he scores. Second, use your speed for Oswego State. And finally, score first. They're 1-8-1 when they give up the first goal.
And we're going to take a quick break here on WTOP 10. We'll be back right after this, the national anthems. Hockey Night in Oswego. Welcome back inside the Moreno Campus Center Ice Arena. Luke Owens alongside Matt Walling as we get ready for Oswego State and Buffalo State. Of course, Oswego State second in the SUNYAC right now. Buffalo State sitting in 4th place. A game, of course, as we mentioned before, that has a lot of implications. And as we look in between the pipes tonight for Oswego State, it will be again the sophomore Steven Kozakowski making the start. And for Buffalo State, even younger, they have freshman Emil Norman in net. And Matt, he's had a really solid freshman year so far for the Bengals.
Yeah, the 2-time SUNYAC goaltender of the week, and only a 6-6 record, but a .935 save percentage. And again, if you remember back at the beginning of the year, Coach Gosick saying he wanted his goaltender to be a .930 or above goaltender. That's how you win a national championship. And for Buff State, they've got the save percentage, the goaltending's there. Maybe the offense early on struggled a little bit. They couldn't really find their groove starting SUNYAC play. I believe it was 0-5-1 or something along those lines at the start of the season for Buffalo State. So early struggles, but they're trying to battle back in, and they've done a good job for Buffalo State.
As we get ready for puck drop between Anthony Pissarro and Sam Maddox, the faceoff is won by Buffalo State, and it will be swung behind the net of the Bengals. Oswego State keeping a heavy forecheck on early as Anthony Pissarro down on the quarter boards, battling alongside Matt Minerva. Minerva along the far boards looking to exit the zone, trying to find a defenseman in Troy Button, trying to exit the zone as the Bengals still behind their own net. Emerson keeping a heavy forecheck on as he's joined by Pissarro in the near corner boards. Pissarro still keeping that pressure on, is harassed that time in a good defensive play by Maddox, but it's taken away by Pissarro in front of the net. DeCarlo, a nifty move for a moment, but a good poke check that time by Brendan Zach. Buffalo State now exiting the zone. Shot from center ice, tips off of Kozakowski. Looked like it might have hit the net. Puck stays in play. DeCarlo now carrying in front of us as he's going to chip it up for Gillespie. Gillespie just couldn't get a stick on that, and a good play by Cody Simons.
Great first shift for Oswego State, hemming Buffalo State in their own zone.
As Kozyrev tried to get a shot off, but Josh Zizek with a quick poke check as that third line out there for Buffalo State. Point, pass trying to get over on the wing, shot, and that one went just wide of Kozakowski. Kozyrev back in the slot, shot went wide, and a good first save there by Steven Kozakowski. Swung around back behind the net of Kozakowski as Gillespie looking to exit the zone, but he's harassed that time by Kozyrev. Kozyrev to the slot, shot went just wide of Kozakowski. Good opportunities early on for the Bengals.
Yeah, just looking at this third line for Buffalo State, they put up a bunch of points, but the speed that Kozyrev has, I've never seen before, or it's been just incredibly dynamic from a freshman nonetheless.
And Kozyrev, of course, still out there on the ice, but it's going to be Travis Broman carrying for the Lakers back to the point. Allen looking for a pass down low. He finds Pissarro behind the net. Pissarro, good dump pass to Sullivan, but that one kind of kicked off his skate and it's stolen away. Bengals trying to exit the zone. Heavy forecheck for both teams early on as Carson Vance battling to keep it in, but it's going to be out to center ice, controlled by Molinaro. Allen controlling back to Vance in the Lakers defensive zone as Vance exits up to Sullivan. Sullivan trying to put a move on there, but again harassed that time by Kozyrev, who's been all over the ice so far in this game.
Yeah, and Kozyrev just so impressive for Buffalo State as they go for a line change. And early on, really both teams showing off some speed. Buffalo State a little surprising, a team that's not used to showing this much speed, but that third line is a line that Coach Gosick and the Oswego State forwards and defense have to do a good job getting back and making sure they're not forcing turnovers because they can turn it in a hurry and create some offense.
As Andrew Loger is going to chase Chris McMillan behind the Kozakowski net. Lakers looking to exit the zone with Anthony Pissarro, the, of course, Buffalo State transfer from 2 seasons ago. Buffalo State back in their own zone with Brendan Zach. Zach, a good pass in. Buffalo State moving in 3-on-3. Pass and an attempted shot there as McMillan kind of tipped that away towards the corner, and it's picked up by Tyson Kirkby. Kirkby harassed by Colley, and that's going to end up in a turnover. Going the other way is Barber, the Plattsburgh State transfer, carrying it in, looking for it at the center. Gets it, takes a shot, blocked that time by Derek Brown with his skates.
Yeah, and Barber from Plattsburgh State, he gets a lot more minutes here with Buffalo State, a much better fit for him. And he plays on that power play, a really heavy physical shot, and he's got 2 points in his last 5 games, so really a much better showing from him here in Buffalo State.
His best offensive season so far, when with Plattsburgh is primarily defensive, and he's really turned it around as he's come to Buffalo State, stepping into a big role offensively as well, as he now controls behind his own net. Barber swings it around for Troy Button as Button gets it up, and Buffalo State goes the other way. Carrying in here, it's just going to be a chip that time as the Ravens going to get a line change. DeCarlo now on the near boards, carries for Oswego State, trying to get a pass through, but a better block that time by Minerva. Novik will control behind that net of Kozakowski. 16:08 remaining in this first period. You're listening on WTOP 10. as Anthony Pissarro will carry out for the Lakers. Stretch pass forward to DeCarlo. DeCarlo had Emerson. DeCarlo looking for a pass into the slot. Pissarro took a shot, and it looked like that one got tipped, and it will go out of play.
Yeah, it looked like it was either Sam Maddox or number 18 for Buffalo State, Colin O'Connor, getting a stick there, and Pissarro coming right down Main Street in the slot. A great chance for the Lakers.
And time of possession really in favor of Oswego State. You saw a little bit of sustained zone time for the Lakers, the Bengals, a couple moments ago, and some good plays on that third line. But other than that, Oswego State dominating offensive zone possession. Broman took a shot, easy save that time by Emil Norman. Back to the point, Novick swings it to Broman, who kind of fell there in his own skates, struggling to get up, but he plays and kind of kicks it towards the corner boards. Zizek laying a big hit that time, but it's out to center ice, controlled by Antonucci. Novick, entry pass to Broman, but Broman kind of struggled that time, and now Antonucci, the only man back, struggled for a moment with the puck, and that could have been a great opportunity for the Bengals going the other way in Matt Minerva.
Yeah, and only second game played for Minerva this season for Buffalo State. So if he's able to generate some offense here for Buffalo State, he'll definitely try to sort of continue to start playing more and more games as they get down the stretch, the final couple games of the season.
As Reed Bibbs just going to chip that one in and get a line change. Antonucci still on the ice for the Lakers as they exit their defensive zone. Gillespie stretch pass to Derek Brown. Brown moving in, tried to do a nifty move through the legs that time, but it goes just wide, and now the big hit laid by Travis Broman. Bengals trying to go the other way. They had a 2-on-1 opportunity, but the pass went just too far, and Carter Allen picks up for the Lakers. Broman whiffed on a pass that time, and he'll have to recycle into his own zone. Hits the referee, and it stays in for the Bengals. Quick pass intercepted by Broman, but almost a good opportunity there as the referee kept it in. Sullivan's going to beat out the potential icing call on the other end. Battling there in the corner boards, he's trying to find what looks to be Mac Lewis, as Lewis using his physicality there down alongside Sullivan. Gets the pass to the point, Vance. Vance fakes a shot, looking for something, using that stick control to get it back to Molinaro. Molinaro back to Mac Lewis. Lewis down low to Sullivan. Sullivan faked a shot, gets a better angle, and a good save that time by Norman.
Yeah, it looked like Mac Lewis was tied up by Charles Barber in the crease area. Couldn't quite move his stick out of the way to find the puck on the rebound.
As Zach Remmers, the alternate captain for this Bengals team, tried to carry in. He's going to keep that forecheck there on Molinaro, but the Lakers will control, and it looks like they'll try to exit the zone, but still keeping a heavy forecheck there is Vazjonkin, who's had a stellar year for the Bengals. Kirkby now on the near boards, trying to get another opportunity for the Lakers going the other way, but a heavy forecheck once again, that time by Remmers and Vazjonkin, as it's behind the net to Vance for a moment, but got laid down on the body. As Vazjonkin, a pass in front, shot went just wide of Kozakowski, might have been tipped, as Sullivan and the Lakers struggling to exit the zone. Back to the point, Hayden Ford. Over to Brendan Zach. He's going to swing one behind the net of Kozakowski, as Vance now controls for the Lakers. Tied up that time by John Colley, and Colley trying to find a pass over there, and it looked like might have got tangled up with Carter Allen, no call.
And for Buffalo State, so strong on the sticks. You saw it at the net front of Kozakowski. It was Coley lifting the stick of Vance or Allen for Oswego State's defense and forced a turnover that way. So really an impressive job by these guys. They're so strong on the sticks. They're such a well-coached team from Steve Murphy, really doing a good job forcing them to kind of lift those sticks and be strong on it.
13 minutes remaining in this first period. It's 0-0 score inside MCC. Luke Owens alongside Matt Watling. We'll also hear a couple times for a ringside reporter, Mike Gross, as this game progresses. Shot from the point, blocked that time by Tyler Curry, and Mitch Emerson now tangled up that time trying to exit the zone with Curry, and Emerson will do so up a pass to Pissarro. Pissarro moving in, tried to find Curry, but that pass went a little bit too long as Curry is going to swing that behind for Pissarro. Pissarro, touch pass for DeCarlo behind the net. DeCarlo moving towards the far face-off circle, back to the point, McMillan. DeCarlo over to Curry. Curry looking, he's going to find Mike Gillespie. Gillespie back behind once again for Pissarro. Curry at the point now for the Lakers. Good passing, shot from the point, easy save that time by Norman, and really no one home there for the Lakers for a rebound.
Yeah, it looked like Gillespie was trying to circle back around to the far side, the weak side of Buffalo State's defense, and when he was doing that, he went away from the net, and there's a rebound opportunity for him, but he was going back around the other side.
And now Buffalo State's going to chip and chase as Sam Maddox on that fourth line that started tonight. A nifty move that time put on McMillan. Maddox. Pass to the point to Barber. Barber tried to get it back in front. Puck loose for a moment there, but it's cleared away as Josh Zizek now finds Gillespie, and that pass went just past his stick. Would have been a one-on-one, or excuse me, a one-on-0 opportunity as Broman takes a shot. That one went wide on the rifle from Travis Broman, but a missed opportunity a moment ago for the Lakers.
You know, smart touch pass, but also a little bit dangerous. If you miss that there, it's a 5-on-4 the other way, and maybe Buffalo State staying in the zone. You kind of saw it against some other teams Oswego State's played, especially during the Pathfinder tournament, where you look for a stretch pass, you don't really have it there, and you lose, kind of get lost trying to generate offense when you got to protect the net first.
As Sullivan tried to control back to the point to Tyler Antonucci, took a shot. That one was tipped into the corner as it's controlled by Molinaro. Tried to get a pass out in front. Sullivan takes a shot. That one went wide as that almost found the back of the net for the Lakers' first goal. Novick cycling back to Lewis. Novick a shot. That one low and wide as Sullivan controls along the near boards. Sullivan battling behind the net with Troy Button. Touch pass there. Molinaro took a shot. Rebound right in front. And that one cleared away, and the Lakers keeping it in. Molinaro in the slot had Sullivan down low, but couldn't find the pass. Buff State going the other way. Minerva, a nifty move. Minerva tried to take a shot and a great poke check by Tanner Spink, and the Lakers go the other way. Pace picking up as Spink carries into the zone. Spink looking to wrap around, but that time a good hit laid on him by Hayden Ford. Back on in front, and Spink using kind of that Energizer Bunny type of energy to try to get something going. Is going the other way now is Buffalo State with a shot, and a good save there by Kozakowski to clear into the boards. Pace picking up to a frantic rate here as just about halfway through this first period, 0-0 score between Oswego State and Buffalo State. Point to Hayden Ford. He's just going to swing it back down low to Kozyrev. Kozyrev trying to find a pass out in front for Remmers, and now cycling back is finding him again. A shot from Ford and a block by Max Novick. So Buffalo State sustaining zone time, but not a ton of quality opportunities right now. Trying to find a pass across. They do. Shot is blocked for a second there by Brown. Puck got lost. Another one saved by Kozakowski as it looked like Brendan Zach was kind of circling in for a good shot there.
And I love that rebound control from Steven Kozakowski. He's able to push it a couple feet away, not keeping it in the crease.
As Oswego State with a quick opportunity, as it looked like Norman came out far to play that one. Scorpio harassed him, and he'll head back to the bench as Buffalo State really met some good opportunities, maybe not grade A, so we'll see if they can pick that up as unofficially a 2-1 lead on shots on goal in favor of the Bengals, so maybe less shots than we were expecting, but nonetheless, quite the pace so far. DiCarlo circling around 9 minutes ago in this first period. Long pass up ahead for Emerson. Emerson takes a shot. That one went high, and it swings around the boards to DiCarlo. DiCarlo, touch pass for Emerson, but it's stolen away that time, and it's going to be trying to exit the zone with Simons, but a good job by Carter Allen pinching in, and it's back out to center ice Carson Vance.
And that's the second time an Oswego State defender tried to keep it in and pinch. Both times successful. You saw it with Novick earlier on, and for Oswego State, you've got to make sure that you're getting forwards back because Buffalo State's offense can get over in a hurry.
Going in a hurry here, and a big slap shot from the point goes just wide, and a good opportunity that time for Buffalo State as Zizek carries the other way. Zizek tried to find Gillespie as Tulipan was slow getting back that time, but Ben Butcher, a good play there for the Bengals. Butcher harassed that time by Broman as Lakers getting a nice forecheck, and Curry moving in 3-on-1. Curry takes a shot, and what a block that time by Colin O'Connor for the Bengals, just kind of sacrificing the body that time.
Yeah, it looked like he almost took a spill as well, and it looked for Oswego State. They could have went the other way trying to get Zizek on the near side wing.
Good drop pass there by Ben Butcher, but a better defensive play as Zizek and Gillespie moving in 2-on-2. Zizek fakes a shot, fires one, and a good save by Emil Norman, and some extra pushing and shoving. And with 7:50 remaining in this first period, we'll hear from our ringside reporter, Mike Gross. Mike, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Well, a pretty uneventful first half of the first period. Oswego really controlling the possession and controlling the tempo, and they are even at shots 2 apiece, but for Buff State, they have to stop giving up the possession in the neutral zone. That's why Oswego has had those chances, but neither team has been able to capitalize early on. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Thank you, Mike. We'll hear Mike throughout this game as this game is tied up 0-0, 7:30 remaining. Pass out in front stolen by Sullivan as he gets it down to Molinaro. Molinaro looking to wrap around. He's harassed that time, but he gets it to the point. Tyler Curry. Curry takes a shot, and a good save by Emil Norman through some traffic.
Yeah, really a brilliant save by Norman. A lot of traffic in front. You saw Mac Lewis there coming in, only 6 feet tall, but a $190 in terms of weight. So he's a wider, broader guy. So a really impressive stop by Norman, who only comes in at 6'1".
And looking around the SUNYAC quickly, Morrisville State, Plattsburgh State tied at 1 apiece. That game, of course, huge fighting for that last playoff spot as Molinaro wins the faceoff, pass out in front, they score! Jody Sullivan was right there in front of the net, and Oswego State takes the 1-0 lead.
Set pieces off the faceoff, so critical in Division III hockey. Some of the best ways you get to generate offense, you saw it there. Sullivan creeping towards the front of the net, a pass able to get out in front of him, and just a brilliant goal for Sullivan to go 5-0 on Emil Norman.
And just like that, the Lakers lead 1-0, 7:20 to go in this first period. It really seemed like only a matter of time before the Lakers got a good chance on the replay.
Yeah, and you see it there, a nice faceoff when Molinaro cuts it right out in front, and Sullivan getting great positioning on his defender, getting the inside look, and a great chance for the Lakers.
Molinaro was looking for more as he crept in and took a shot. A good save by Norman. And, you know, Matt, you talked about the set pieces off the faceoff, and that play right there really evidence. Just such a quick play. You see Molinaro creep in. You see them, Molinaro and Sullivan, embracing on the bench. That's just such a great set piece by this Lakers offense.
Yeah, it really is, and just an impressive effort by the Lakers. Again, you win that faceoff, and these faceoffs, they're so important, especially in the offensive and defensive zones, trying to establish position, especially with two teams that are really fast, but it kind of takes a little while for them to get going in terms of speed, especially on the back end. You want to try to generate that offense off those draws to make some opportunities happen.
So a goal there by Jody Sullivan gives the Lakers a 1-0 lead, and they're looking for more. A pass intercepted, though, that time, and it's swung around the boards. Loger is chasing Novick that time, as Spink will exit the zone. Spink tried to find Kirkby, but Kirkby looked like he was kind of turned around there, and it's controlled by Simons. Simons going to chip that one and chase as John Colley trying to get in there, but an easy cover by Steven Kozakowski.
Yeah, and again, really now about 6:43 left to go here in this first period, and the Lakers done a really good job limiting Buffalo State and their speed. Buffalo State loves to kind of jump in on the rush, try to generate some offense that way, but for the Lakers, the defense and their gap control has been really impressive the last couple minutes.
And it'll have to be tight here on the faceoff. Right now, faceoff numbers tied at 3 apiece. And we'll see who takes the advantage here as Pissarro's going to win that faceoff for the Lakers. DiCarlo, a quick exit there, and he's trying to move 2-on-2 with Emerson. Pass to Emerson, back to DiCarlo. Emerson now controls along the far boards, and Lakers going fast. Defense, offense, back out in front, and a good tip by Vance, but it went wide. DiCarlo trying to find Emerson along the near boards, but Emerson being harassed by Cody Simons. And Buffalo State able to exit the zone, now trying to move in 2-on-2, but a great poke check by Carson Vance that time. Lakers keep it in. Emerson tried to find DiCarlo again. DiCarlo back to the point, but that one just past Carter Allen. Vance controlling at center ice, just gonna send that one in, stay on the ice as Pissarro laying the body in the corner. Pissarro had it stolen away. That one's gonna go all the way down. We'll see if Vance can win this one. He's gonna turn on the Jets, and we will have an ice and cone.
5:56 left to go here in this first period, Luke. You really want to try to really play more defensive here at Oswego State to some extent. You also want to push, get that second goal. But again, you can't afford to give up a goal here at the end of the first period. It's been a 50-50, maybe 60-40 split in terms of how much the ice tilts in favor of Oswego State. And you cannot afford to give up a last-minute goal here in this first period.
And unofficially, according to live stats, 10-4 advantage for the Lakers in terms of shots on goal. And this will be a big face-off between Maddox and Zyzik. Lakers just scored a moment ago off a face-off, and that one kind of neutralized and taken away, but Lakers control. Gillespie fired a shot. No one was down low, but Zyzik controls for the Lakers. Nice spin move there, dumps it down low to Broman. Broman using his speed to get it over to Zyzik. Zyzik behind the net to Gillespie. Gillespie point to Tyler Curry. Curry looking for a shot and a great block that time, as it's going to be an easy zone exit for the Bengals. Goes all the way down, no icing call. Kozakowski comes out to play that one as Sam Maddox keeping a forecheck for Buffalo State. Zyzik once again harassed that time by Barber, and now Gillespie moving in. Pass to Curry, scores! And it looks like no goal, excuse me, as that one might have hit the post. Everyone's celebrating, including Tyler Curry, but that puck did not go into the net.
Yeah, and it rings the post right through the 5-0 of Norman, just can't beat the post. They call the goaltender's best friend for a reason, and it's Norman's best friend right there.
Not my best friend on a bad call there, as Gillespie takes a shot and a good block. You know, sometimes when MCC erupts and you see the players celebrate, you think it goes in, but that puck, of course, did not go in. Still 1-0, 4:50 to go in this first period. Novick laid the body that time as it's swung around behind the net, played by Antonucci. Antonucci chased by Kozyrev, but now he gets out of the zone. A good play by Antonucci. Molinaro drop pass for Antonucci. Looking, got hit in the back there, no call, and Molinaro gets pinned into the boards as well. As still without a penalty this game between these two teams, and pretty clean so far as Sullivan sends it behind to Molinaro. Bow and arrow that time, and a good defensive play by Troy Button, but Mac Lewis comes in to take care of him, and it looks like the Lakers needed a line change. Bengals trying to get something going the other way as Carter Allen kind of steered his man into the boards.
And the Lakers defense especially has to be smart on those line changes. You see how fast Buffalo State can transition from defense to offense, and a smarter change there as Lakers had the puck pinned in Buffalo State's end.
Spink now controls along the face-off dot, dumps it down low to Kirkby. Kirkby back to Spink at the point. Spink moving in back to Vance. Vance over to Allen, playing some catches. Vance fires a shot, and it looked like that actually hit off Kirkby. And Kirkby's going to swing it back for Spink. Spink cycling back, trying to get a good pass that time, and Buffalo State kind of content to just chip that one out of the zone.
Yeah, and again, they're kind of on their heels a little bit here. Oswego State really pressing and pushing, and their forecheck has done an excellent job. Oswego State generating a lot of offense on that cycle game, trying to get it back to the defense. You see Carter Allen creeping in. If he could have gotten a pass out to him, looking for an opportunity.
Anthony Toolpain in his pocket pick that time by Kirkby, and Kirkby, a good move. He's going to swing it back to the point, Carter Allen. Allen looking for a shot. He had DeCarlo in the slot. Instead, he's going to fire a shot. Rebound in front. Kirkby tangled up, trying to control. Gets it over to Emerson. Back to the point, Allen. Allen, quick shot by McMillan, and a good block that time by Dost. Allen at the point, fires a shot. A good block that time by the skates of Hayden Ford. Oh, a nifty move that time by Ben Butcher as he moves up center ice with some speed. Butcher met that time by McMillan and DeCarlo. He's got no teammates back with him, as now finally it looks like he's joined by Toolpain, but it's going to be controlled behind the net by Carter Allen. 2:45 remaining in this first period. 1-0 Lakers lead, and a chip pass for Passero. Back on the front, DeCarlo, and just couldn't control that one on the backhand, as DeCarlo was looking to net the Lakers' second goal that time.
Yeah, Emerson early in the play, slow to get up. Looked like he was tangled up in the Oswego State end on the far side, but he's finally back in the action. Skating kind of gingerly here as Kozakowski makes the save.
And Andrew Loger had a good move that time, but an easy gobble up that time by Steven Kozakowski. 2:27 to go, and you know, Matt, the Lakers seem to be dominating shots on goal, 12-5, but it still feels like Buffalo State is really matching them in terms of speed, especially going from defense to offense.
Yeah, for sure. I think the one thing that Buffalo State's kind of struggling to do is they're struggling in their own zone, trying to get it out, maybe try to chip it along the boards a little bit higher up in the air, or flutter it over the top of the defenders into the neutral zone. But for them, they've got to try to start generating some offense and trying to get some line rushes, breaking out of the zone quicker, just to try to spark a bit of offense, because they've struggled to do so.
And with 2 minutes left, we'll see if they can spark some offense. As this stolen away by Kozyrev. Drop past Vezjonkin. Vezjonkin looked like he was going to try to make a move, but instead he's going to swing it back down low to Kozyrev. Kozyrev wrapping around, looking for a pass back to the point. Swing around the boards, that time it's Button, and it's intercepted by Travis Broman. Tip pass over to Gillespie. Gillespie entering the offensive zone. Quick pass to Broman, and Broman was tangled up that time, but a great pass by Gillespie.
A brilliant pass by Gillespie, chipping it through the legs, a sauce pass over the stick through the legs of the defender, and Broman narrowly just unable to get the puck up as he was tangled up with a pair of the Buffalo State defenders. A great play by Buffalo State, kind of focusing on the player, not the puck on that sequence.
Charles Barber, a quick pass up the ice to Vezjonkin. He was met by Broman, no call. Moving it out, shot goes just wide as Kozyrev was looking to tie this game up. Back to the point. Novik trying to keep it in, but instead it's taken away. Pass down low, and that one just went past the stick of Remmers. Trying to keep it in was Buffalo State, but instead it's going to be Broman controlling for the Lakers. 1:20 to go in this first period. Antonucci looking to go defense to offense. He does that so well, he's just going to flip a shot off of Norman.
And it feels like with Buffalo State, they're not able to generate a lot of consistent offense. It feels a lot of one and done. Get the rush on, get the shot, and while you're generating that offense, the rest of the team's going off for a line change, so they can't get their cycle game going. Look for them here with fresh legs out there on the ice to try to generate some extended time for the rest of the period.
They've got a minute to go, and a shot and a good blocker save that time by Steven Kozakowski on the strong wrist shot by Sam Maddox. So 53.7 seconds to go in this first period, and you know, Matt, this could be a big opportunity in a face-off for the Bengals.
It can. You saw with the Oswego State Lakers' first goal of the game by Jody Sullivan, able to creep towards the front of the crease on the face-off, a set piece that Oswego State was able to capitalize on earlier in the game. So with 53 seconds left to go, Buffalo State trying to do the same.
Big face-off win that time by Mac Lewis, and the Lakers looking to exit the zone, but a good hit laid that time. Allen now behind the net of Kozakowski, 45 seconds to go, and a good chip pass up to Mac Lewis. Trying to move in 3-on-2, but Molinaro's just going to dump that one. It's going to be played by Emil Norman, and Norman's made a couple of kind of risky plays coming out of the net, and the Lakers will keep it in the offensive zone. Sullivan trying to find Lewis, but instead it's going to be back, and it's going to be played by Cody Simons. 25 seconds to go as Buffalo State getting a line change, and they'll make one final rush. Simons trying to get a pass up on the wing, but it's stolen by Carson Vance. Vance swings it behind the net of Norman as Brown chases him. 10 seconds to go here in this period. Bengals trying to get something going, and a long stretch pass that time is going to kick off the pad of Kozakowski. 3 seconds to go here in this first period, and a quick opportunity out in front, and that one, luckily for the Lakers, went just wide. And at the end of the first period, Oswego State leads 1-0, and Jody Sullivan had the 1 goal, but Matt, no penalties between these two teams so far, so it's been a pretty clean game on the score sheet.
And these are two teams that are kind of used to taking penalties. Oswego State averaging 14.4 penalty minutes per game, and for Buffalo State, just about 11. So when you look at both these teams, too, a lot of physicality on both sides, a lot of big presences. You know, Michael Gillespie not afraid to get dirty, get a little chippy with it, if you like. And for Buffalo State, they've got some size, too. You look at Barber, for example, the transfer from Plattsburgh, really a guy that has some big size, 6'2". So both teams like to get a little aggressive, a little physical. Haven't seen too much of it here. A lot more of a speed game and much cleaner along the boards.
And Oswego State leading the shot battle 13-6 and 1-0 on the big board. And we're going to take a quick break here on Hockey Night in Oswego. When we come back, Brian Rudman and the guys will take us through that first period. Don't go anywhere. You're watching on WTOP 10.
And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the first intermission report right here on WTOP 10. Once again, Pat Machado and Mike Morano. I'm Brian Rudman. The Lakers lead 1-0 after 1 period. A great period for the Lakers, but before we dive into what we saw in the first 20 minutes of this game, let's take a look around the SUNYAC, those other games that have big implications on the playoff standings.
We talked about it a lot in the pregame. A logjam in the SUNYAC. Currently, right now, Fredonia is leading Cortland by a score of 2-0, and that's big for Fredonia as they're fighting for their playoff lives. Plattsburgh beating Morrisville 2-1, and they're going to seal up their seed as it looked like they might have missed the playoffs. They're getting back into it. And of course, right here in the wheelhouse, Oswego State leads by a score of 1-0 after a very fast first period of play.
Now, Mike, how can those scores affect the SUNYAC if those scores hold the rest of the night?
Well, again, because since they're so evenly matched, that really one win can really decide it here, especially if a team slumps now, they're not going to make it into the playoffs. So now it's really do or die for a lot of these teams. So now they have to figure out a game plan here to try to get back in this one as soon as possible.
Now, looking at what we saw in the first 20 minutes here in the wheelhouse, what are your impressions of the first period?
It was a pretty quick period of play, a lot of play without whistles. We saw good chances for both teams on first ends. The first line was getting chances of their own, using Emerson as over by the blue line before the puck crossed it, seeing him in the center lane. And there's some good interplay between DiCarlo and Pissarro as well.
Yeah, I saw Oswego dominating the time possession there, which is really big because, like I said before, they have to win on faceoffs. They have to win just in time possession total, winning the faceoff 7-3 so far. Very clean period for them, as we'll get to that in a little bit. I really liked what I saw from Tyler Curry as well, taking advantage of a lot of opportunities there. We thought he scored a goal in the first period, but it ended up being waved off, just getting hit off the crossbar as well.
Yeah, now let's take a look at the period summary. What have these stats shown you about how this game's been played so far?
Oswego State is controlling most of this game. They're outshooting Buffalo State by double. Like we mentioned, it was a clean first period of play, no power plays for either side. 7-3 is the face-off total favoring Oswego State. And Mac Lewis, who centers that third line, perfect on face-offs in the first period. 4 face-off wins for him.
Yeah, exactly. And if you really look at these stats, it really can maybe even dictate a different score. But as we just said before, it is 1-0 Oswego. Oswego really not being able to capitalize on a lot of their opportunities as well. So if you're Buffalo State, this was a pretty bad period for you, but it's still a 1-0 game, and anything can change.
Now, the Lakers really dominated the time of possession in that first period, resulting in them leading in the shots on goal. How important has it been for them, Mike, to dominate the possession so far?
If you want to dominating the shots, time possession is always big for any team in any game, just because the more, it doesn't matter if you're converting on these shots or getting on these goals. If you're dominating time possession, you're eliminating any chance for Buffalo State to even have an opportunity to bring this momentum back to them. So if you're taking away that, it can just become a mental game at that point, just become frustrating for them, and just being able to try to crawl back in this game.
Now, Pat, we look at Oswego, they've struggled to stay out of the penalty box so far this year, but tonight they've played clean so far. How surprised are you at that?
I'm not at all. The beginning of the year was a very testy time for Oswego State, and you're going to have a lot of penalties when you play a rival and a team that has been at the top of the national rankings all year, like you would in Geneseo. You want to fight for that extra inch, and I think tonight Oswego State realizes while it's important to get the win, it isn't important enough to take bad penalties and fighting for every single inch because they're controlling a lot.
Oswego doing a great job staying out of the box. We're going to go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll have more first period analysis right here on WTOP 10. And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the first intermission report right here on WTOP 10. Once again, Pat Machado, Mike Morano, I'm Brian Rudman. The Lakers lead at the first intermission, 1-0 over the Buffalo State Bengals. Now we saw the Lakers obviously get out to that early goal. What did you see in that scoring play for the Lakers?
Now this one's going to come off the draw. You're going to see the two centers tie up in the center of the face-off circle where Mac Lewis will win that face-off, and it's a play where the puck was crossing over and the goaltender was trying to play that cross-ice pass. You'll see it here. Tie up off the draw. Here's Moanauer who crosses it, and the goaltender plays that cross-ice pass but leaves the 5-hole wide open for Sullivan, who's in perfect position to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and especially face-off wins here are just so important too because, like I said before, they have to be able to dominate in the face-off selection here, and as they're doing it so far, it can create more opportunities for them and create more chances the more they have this puck.
Yeah, the chemistry certainly on display for the Lakers early. They did dominate the puck possession, as we talked about before we went to break, but they haven't really capitalized. What have you seen out of them?
They had a lot of close chances. Emerson had two good chances where he was just waiting on the blue line and could have split the D. You had Gillespie, who was in behind the defense, but Zizek's pass was a little too hot to handle. And then you had DiCarlo in front of goal, who tried to first time the puck into the net, but he had a little bit of extra time and could have teed it up and fired a shot, and that would have been a better opportunity for them. Oswego State is getting the chances, and good for DiCarlo and all those other players for shooting the puck, as that getting pucks on net is like the #1 priority. But slow your game down a little bit because you're dominating the Bengals.
Yeah, and they're working a little too fast here, so the amount of opportunities that they get is good. It won't be that big of a problem. If they keep dominating the time of possession, they can have all these opportunities. At least one of them has to go in for them as well.
Now, Mike, is peppering the goalie going to work for the Lakers? Is that a good strategy to go with going forward?
I think it's really what they've been doing all season. Like I said before, when they dominate on the shot selection, they usually win these games by a very large margin. And you want to wear out these goalies as much as possible. You don't want to give them a time to rest, collect their thoughts. You want to be at them all the time. You want to be able to have the goalie always be ready for a shot, because once you back away from it, they get a time to rest and they have more opportunities, have a better chance here to give it time to rest and to come back.
Now, going into the next period, starting with Buffalo State, what can we expect from them?
They need to change their game because they've only had one period of sustained ozone time against the Lakers that lasted more than 30 seconds, which is the key to getting something to happen, whether it's a goal or a penalty. You got to wear these Lakers down so that they make mistakes.
Yeah, you got to be more aggressive. And you got to show your presence as much as possible, because right now Oswego is kind of running all over you with time possession here. So you want to come out and you want to be able to take that puck away from them. You don't want to have them have all these opportunities and have these opportunities to have these great passes in turn for a goal. So you need to be aggressive as possible, make your presence known.
Now on the other side, what can we expect out of the Lakers coming out of the break with the lead?
Be as clean as possible, like we said before. I think they need to mimic a lot of the things they did here. Of course, capitalizing on chances is big, but also staying out of the box here. They've done a really good job so far, and if the narrative was switched here and they became having a lot more penalties in this game, it'd be a lot more of a focus point. But I think they've done a really good job of staying out of the box here, because after a while, that mental game can be a big factor for them.
Take the extra second when you have big offensive chances, and don't let Buffalo State bait you into anything after the whistle, and don't put yourself in a position to get injured given the current state of the SUNYAC standings.
Now for each team, Pat, we'll start with you with Buffalo State. What's one adjustment they should make going into the second period?
Be more craftier. Simplify your game, chip and change, and get in there on the forecheck. Take the body to the Lakers. You've been doing a good job being physical. Continue that play.
Now, Mike, what adjustment should Ed Gosick make in this locker room for this Lakers squad?
Be more clean is the first one. Of course, you want to stay out of the box as much as possible, and also carry this momentum. It's only a 1-0 game. Like we said before, these games could get switched in a really fast here, because when they were down in Geneseo, they were able to come back, and then Geneseo was able to flip that again and win. So it's really only a 1-0 game. The game isn't over by any means, so Oswego has to keep peppering the goalie and win by a large amount.
Now, back in the pregame show, we made our predictions. Are you boys sticking with yours?
I'm sticking with mine for now.
Yeah, absolutely. I still think it'd be a 5-2. Still be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I still have us. We go 4-1. Right now, Lakers 1-0. You're on the other side, the second period with Luke Owens and Matt Watling. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10.
Welcome back inside the Verano Campus Center Ice Arena. Luke Owens joined once again by Matt Watling. And in the first period, the Lakers get the 1-0 lead. And Matt, they've really dominated in terms of shots on goal.
Yeah, they have. And so far, unofficially, it's 13-6, or I should say officially with the first period underway, or done, I should say. And for Oswego State, really an impressive performance by them. They did a good job hemming Buffalo State in their own zone. You want to get sustained zone time. That's what Oswego State was able to do so well. 2 or 3 times they were able to actually make line changes while they were still in the offensive zone. And that's that kind of second and third waves of attack that you want to see. One thing that I loved from Oswego State that period was the ability to kind of cycle down low, get it back to the defense, and then fire pucks on net from the point. Crowd Emil Norman, he's a younger goaltender, maybe not as comfortable as Ian Silvas was their senior goaltender last year in net. So a different environment for Norman, and kind of he's done a very good job, though, so far.
And in the first period, of course, no penalties between either team, so we'll stay tuned and see if that changes, as it will once again be that fourth line anchored by Sam Maddox for Buffalo State, facing off against Anthony Passero, the 2 former teammates. And Passero wins that puck drop, and we are underway in this second period here on WTOP 10. Max Novick up on the wing for Mitch Emerson. Emerson lost it for a second. Swings it around to Passero. Passero, good job that time harassing Charles Barber. Pass out in front, shot went wide, and Emerson will control. Emerson harassed that time by 2 Buffalo State Bengals, and it's taken away by Sam Maddox, and he's going to peel back behind the net of Buffalo State. And a 1-0 game, but it seems like Buffalo State can go to offense so fast as a shot that time. Goes just wide of Steven Kozakowski, but Matt, the Bengals really have an offense second score at any second, it seems.
Yeah, they really have. It's all about that speed, and the passing's been really impressive from them. One thing that I'd like to see more out of them is trying to generate those grade A chances. Don't be afraid to try to dump the puck in, cycle a little bit when you have fresh legs, and try to get some passes through the slot or to the slot. They haven't generated a lot of grade A opportunities so far through the first 21 minutes of the game.
And now a big lull in the game as Buffalo State gets a full sail line change, and they'll try to go to work, but it's taken away by Broman. Broman, quick pass to Zyzek. Zyzek moving in, dump pass, and he maybe got a little bit too fancy trying to pass that one through the legs.
And it looked like Broman was calling for the pass, and Zyzek couldn't quite find him as it was a blindsided pass. So for the Lakers, good job intercepting, but you want to try to generate some offense when you have those 2-on-1 rushes.
Yeah, it looked like the Lakers might have had a great opportunity. Travis Broman was all alone, and Buffalo State really passing in their own defensive zone as Mike Gillespie lays a hit that time, and not quite sure where the puck went, but we're going to have the whistle here. And really it seems like Buffalo State is maybe a little bit sloppy in their own defensive zone early on, or at least, you know, maybe attempting a couple more passes than you'd like within your own zone.
Yeah, they definitely have, and I think so far this period you haven't seen that too much, maybe on that one turnover escaping the zone. But again, for Buffalo State, if you can't pass it out, chip it out, you've got to try to establish offense, or at least get by the Oswego State forecheck, which has been absolutely tremendous thus far.
As Vadim Vezjonkin wins that faceoff for Buffalo State, trying to make up some ground in that category, and it's taken away by Sullivan momentarily, but he's going to swing it around. Sullivan, of course, had that lone Lakers goal as McMillan's going to chase into his own zone, and over to Mac Lewis. 18-14 remaining here in the second period. Lakers lead, of course, still 1-0 on that Sullivan goal. And Sullivan, a nifty move to enter the zone, but that's going to be called for an offsides.
Yeah, a tough break. It looked like it was Molinaro jumping just a step offside. And for Oswego State, I really like this line that they've got, this third line for the Lakers. They do a really good job kind of generating a physicality. They have a real strong defensive presence between Sullivan, Mac Lewis, and Molinaro. And you saw them score the goal to open the game with Jody Sullivan creeping towards the net. So they've got a decent bit of a sneaky goal scoring ability with Jody Sullivan, who's got 20 goals in his career in about 80 games played.
And face-off once again won by Vezjonkin, back to Kozakowski, and he'll try to dump it along there as the Lakers trying to exit the zone with some speed. Mac Lewis has Sullivan. He's going to chip and chase that time, but a good defensive play by Brandon Zach to get over there, but Lewis plowing his way there into the corner. We know how physical he can be, as now it's back to Sullivan at the point. Sullivan takes a shot, and an easy save paddled away by Emil Norman.
That's kind of something you expect to see for Oswego State. But again, now you send out that fourth line to try to generate some offense.
And as we look here around the SUNYAC men's basketball in action tonight, as Oswego State here leading 1-0 against Buffalo State. And it will be Zyzik in the face-off circle. Zyzik momentarily won that face-off, but it's going to be whistled down. And quickly around the SUNYAC here, Plattsburgh State leading Morrisville State 2-1. And Fredonia leading 2-0 on Cortland. Two big games, of course. Fredonia will be inside MCC tomorrow night. Novik a shot from the point, and that will, of course, be senior night for the Lakers. Could be a lot to play for tomorrow for both teams. Of course, seniors want to go out strong, and Fredonia wants that last playoff spot. Moving in with some speed here, but a good play defensively by Max Novik to get up to Zyzik. Zyzik a pass up to Gillespie, and a good play by Norman to just come out and poke check that one. Good awareness there by the freshman goaltender.
And I like the play from Norman because he's not afraid. He's committed to be aggressive. You can't be 50-50. You've got to stay in your net, play the breakaway, or go out and charge and attack Gillespie, and did a great job making up his mind in a hurry.
As now Broman battling there alongside Brandon Doust. Doust is able to get it over to Ben Butcher. Butcher, a nifty move there along the far circle. As Butcher's going to swing that one down low. Scorpio laid the body that time, no penalty called, and he's going to control now for the Lakers over to Broman. So, you know, maybe a little bit more physical in the second period, but still, both teams playing this game clean.
Yeah, it's been a really clean game. Just a solid, good game of hockey. Not a lot of animosity between the teams, obviously both wanting to win, but they haven't been dirty. They haven't been physical, as the crowd not happy there.
And with 16:32, we're going to send it over to our our ringside reporter, Michael Gross, who has some points for both teams to work on in the second period. Mike.
Well, thank you guys. If you have been living in a box, well, you've realized that nobody's been in the penalty box and you've not been watching the game. But the penalty box has been empty through that first period. Both sides playing a very clean brand of hockey. But for Buff State, they need to start taking more shots and being more physical. Oswego can go on a break, and when they score, they usually score in bunches. So they need to pester more. For Oswego, they need to do what they're doing right now, getting behind the net and pestering that goalkeeper. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mike, as it's carried in by Kozyrev, taking a shot and a good glove save by Steven Kozakowski, and probably the best opportunity that Buffalo State has as the freshman Nikita Kozyrev out of Estonia. Of course, him and Vadim Vezjankin, both from Estonia, kind of anchoring that third line. They both had good seasons for the Bengals.
Yeah, they have, and they both played a little bit of junior hockey underage, both hailing from Estonia, as you said, Luke. So the two have some offensive abilities, and both kind of maybe Vezjankin helping Kozyrev adjust to Buffalo State life, both being from the same country.
As Passero stretched past that time to DiCarlo, moving it back for Passero, tried to tip it, and that one went wide. Passero back down low to DiCarlo. DiCarlo harassed that time by Minerva, back to the point to Allen. Allen swing it down low. Passero tried to go through the legs again, and for the second time, that kind of between the legs pass does not work for the Lakers, as Allen fanned on a pass that time, and Matt Minerva was almost there for a good opportunity. Emerson moving in with some speed. He's got Passero moving a 2-on-2. Shot by Emerson, a blocker save by Emil Norman. Emerson still controlling for the Lakers, trying to find DiCarlo with 15:30 remaining in this second period. 1-0 lead for Oswego State. Sam Maddox had his pocket picked that time by Zyzik. Zyzik moving in, takes a shot, good save, rebound right in front for DiCarlo, went wide. And another good opportunity for the Lakers, but a good save by Emil Norman.
Yeah, good save by him and a good job by Carson Vance for the Lakers. Not jumping all the way, he kind of creeped down to about the top of the circles here in the offensive zone, but definitely did a good job getting back, because again, you have 1-0 lead, you don't need to get another goal. Try and play a little more conservative. Obviously, you want to generate some more offense, probably won't win this game 1-0, but Vance doing a good job making calculated risks and not taking the risks you don't need to make.
And Zyzik, a good pass up for Gillespie. He's got Broman moving in 2-on-2, but his pass kind of went a little bit wide. Broman takes a shot, good pin save that time by Norman. Puck stuck in the net for a moment as Gillespie battling behind the lines. Broman fired the shot from outside, and that rebound almost hit off of Charles Barber and went in the net as he was kind of right in front that time of Norman. Chip and chase by Kozyrev, entering the zone with some speed. Nifty move there, tried to swing a pass across for Barber, but Barber's going to go back down low to Vezjankin. Vezjankin back to Kozyrev, looking to make a pass. Cross ice one at that, a good opportunity in front of the net, and a good block by Chris McMillan and the Lakers. Sullivan now moving in, he's moving in one-on-one. Sullivan firing a shot, good save, rebound again as Sullivan controls behind the net. One arrow jumping in there for the Lakers as, once again, the pace of this game has been frantic. McMillan back to Molinaro at the point. Nifty move by Molinaro. Takes a shot and a good block that time as Molinaro chases. Mac Lewis now in the corners. He's harassed by Brendan Zach. Puck looks like it's stuck for a moment. Back to the point for McMillan, keeping it to Mac Lewis. Molinaro tried to get a pass over for Sullivan, but a better job that time defensively by Brian Colburn. Colburn able to exit the zone, so the Lakers are going to fire a shot as Tyler Curry put one on net, but it's gloved that time by Norman.
And early in that sequence, Buffalo State's first real sustained zone time of the period did a good job finding those passes across the slot, but again, they didn't really connect on any of those passes. They were able to get it past the sticks of the Lakers, but weren't positionally set in those holes. So for Buffalo State, you've got to try to generate some offense that way and be a little bit smarter with the holes and trying to find those seams and hit them on the receiving end of the passes.
As Scorpio now moving into the defensive zone of the Bengals with some speed up the wing. Scorpio just flipped a shot there, and Emil Norman kind of had to pin that one with the body, but we stay at a 1-0 lead for the Lakers.
Yeah, a save that's typically easy to make for a goaltender when you drop into that reverse VH. You try to get your shoulder up against the post, and it seemed like Norman wasn't able to do so. Scorpio with all that speed maybe gave it struggle for Norman to get established and really set himself in on that save. So a good job by Norman to fight that one off, and Scorpio again taking to another level of speed we haven't really seen in the last couple of minutes.
As Ben Butcher will face off against Tyson Kirkby. 12:58 remaining in the second period. Listening out WTOP 10, Luke Owens alongside Matt Watling. And of course our ringside reporter, Michael Gross, who we heard from a couple moments ago. And that puck is gonna go all the way down. Antonucci will beat it, and it will be an icing call.
And again, for the Lakers, another chance to create some offense on the offensive zone draw. They'll keep out this line here of Tanner Spink, Kirkby, and Scorpio, a fourth line, but a line that doesn't really play like a fourth line when you've got guys like Kirkby that generated quite a bit of offense last season. This year he's got 14 points, and Spink with 13 as well. So the depth scoring here on all effects for the Lakers and makes offensive zone draws like this one just that much more important.
As Tyson Kirkby's going to kind of chip that over to Joey Scorpio right off the draw. And Scorpio trying to make his presence felt as he's harassing what looked to be Butcher in the corner, and now Scorpio comes out with the puck. Scorpio tried to dump it down low, no one was home, but now Kirkby is back there once again for the Lakers. Novik controlling at the face-off, top fired a shot, and a good save by Emil Norman.
Another strong shot and a good play by Novik trying to get the pucks towards the net, and now you let that top line come out here for the Lakers. They've been electric all season long once they've kind of met and been together. For DiCarlo, hasn't scored any points his last 2 games, but that snapped a 5-game point streak in which he scored 4 goals. And he's been a player that's really stepped up the last half of the season. You saw with Gillespie as well. Goes to kind of splitting those two up in favor of getting Gillespie out there with Broman, but playing with Pissarro for DiCarlo's sake has been really a big help for him, and just such an impressive chemistry they've built over the last couple of really games.
And that's going to be 2 guys the Lakers will, of course, need as they make this SUNYAC run. Of course, their only way into the tournament is going to be a SUNYAC championship, and next weekend the semifinals will start on Saturday night right here inside MCC, and you can catch all the action on WTOP 10, of course, as Anthony Pissarro chasing that puck in. 12:05 remaining in the second period. Long stretch pass is going to go all the way down. No icing call, though, as Kozakowski will play that over to Carter Allen. Allen finding Carson Vance behind the net. Vance tried to pass that time, intercepted. Shot from the point, and it was blocked that time by Matt Minerva. Some friendly fire that time, and a great opportunity for the Bengals on a Lakers turnover. Pissarro, long pass for Emerson, moving in with some speed. Emerson takes a shot. That one went just wide as he tried to extend the Lakers' lead to 2-0.
And for the Lakers, there had a 2-on-1 chance, a great stretch pass, or cross-ice pass, I should say, to find the open winger. And for Buffalo State, kind of lost their positioning a little bit as Barber was way too close here on the near side. Should have played more towards the middle of the net, or middle of the slot, I should say.
As Broman took a shot for a moment, but it's blocked back to the point. McMillan swinging around to Curry. Curry, a nifty move and tight, took a shot, rebound right in front, and Emil Norman able to cover up, but the Lakers doing a good job there, just creating some havoc in front of the net.
And Tyler Carr, really an impressive offensive jump from him. Something that we're used to seeing a lot of offense generate on his end coming into today's game. He's got 40 points on his career, but the last couple games, we haven't seen a lot of offense from him, but he's done a great job so far tonight. You saw that shift right there, a great job kind of lowering the shoulder, cutting towards net, because for Norman's sake, you want to make him as uncomfortable as possible, and when you're throwing bodies and pucks towards him, that's going to make him a little bit jumpy and squirmish in the net.
Broman had an opportunity in the high slot, but Zach Remmers with a good hit that time to kind of interfere on the shot, moving with some speed. Dump pass, shot from the point, rebound was right out in front as Remmers was on the doorstep. Kozakowski tried to clear it away. Broman now a nifty move. He's moving in, harassed that time, and a good poke check by Zach Remmers once again.
Oh, yeah, and on that case, you'd like to see Broman try to just chip it in deep. It was 1-on-3 for the Lakers. So if you're able to hit the red line, fire it in, just try to go to work on the forecheck. But instead, Broman trying to do it all himself.
Yeah, Broman maybe trying to spark some life into this MCC crowd. They seem pretty excited that time as the Bengals once again will kind of hold behind their own net. Colin O'Connor, he's done this twice so far where they kind of just hang around the back of the net maybe for as long as 30 seconds the first time and just allowing his team to get a line change. And it's going to result in no icing call as that puck was tipped. Novik over to Antonucci as the Lakers look to exit the zone with some speed. Molinaro has Sullivan to his left. Try to get a pass through as Mac Lewis was there as well, but a good defensive play. Now the Bengals go 2-on-2 the other way. Colburn try to get a pass out in front, but a good stick play there by Novik. Molinaro now moving in one-on-one. Trying to chip a pass to himself. Molinaro, dump pass Novik. Novik, nifty move backhand, and that one went just wide as Max Novik had a great opportunity and a nifty move. Now we go the other way with Andrew Loger. Loger trying a backhand of his own, but a good poke check by Antonucci right out in front of the net, and a smart play by Max Novik to clear the zone.
Yeah, Novik on that offensive opportunity does a great job, and an even better job by Molinaro to find him. The drop pass works for the Lakers, and for Oswego State, you want to generate some offense from your back end. You saw Curry take a rush. You saw Novik do it there, and when they can get that back end scoring, it makes it a world of a lot easier for them to generate some offense.
And 9:20 remaining in this second period, still a 1-0 Lakers lead as Derek Brown, the extra skater for the Lakers tonight, kind of interesting. Harassed that time, still no penalty, and now going the other way are the Bengals. Pass out in front, good save by Kozakowski. Rebound diving play by Kirkby to try to clear it out as Kozakowski, doesn't get great rebound control, but he kind of is able to steer that into the corner. Back to the point now, and a shot by Barber and a block by Derek Brown. Back into the slot, another shot, good block, that time by Kirkby. Good offensive zone time here for the Bengals. Back behind the net. Toolpane tried to get a pass out in front, but Tyson Kirkby, another good defensive play as Carson Vance going the other way for the Lakers. He's going to chip that down, and the Lakers get a line change.
And just one thing to kind of know with Kozakowski on that sequence, he's so quick to his positional spots. You see it when Buffalo State goes for a wraparound, he pushes so effortlessly, so quick to get to his positions.
A good pass out in front there, but going just off the stick that time of Andrew Loger, and Oswego State now getting back defensively. Wraparound opportunity for a moment. Interrupted that time, and Mitch Emerson carries for the Lakers. Back to the point, big shot blocked by Derek Brown, and he's done a great job tonight as the extra skater. Now moving in with some speed is Simons. Simons looking for a pass out in front, and that one went just wide of the stick of Sam Maddox.
It looked like Carter Allen just kind of lost his man for a moment there on that sequence. A good job by Kozakowski to make the save.
DiCarlo takes a shot, and a good leg pad save there as back and forth we go once again. McMillan, point to Curry. Curry, a good nifty fake of a shot there as Pissarro will have to chase that time as Reed Bibb chips that one up, and that's going to go all the way down the ice. No icing call as McMillan controls for the Lakers, and Buffalo State some really good offensive opportunities his last couple of possessions, and now moving in 2-on-1 the other way. Looking for a pass out in front. Good job by Curry. That shot went just wide of Kozakowski. Almost had to make the glove save as it's kept in by Toolpane. Shot from the point, another good save by Kozakowski, and he's looked sharp these last couple possessions. Brandon Zach at the point. Swing it around the boards, trying to find Minerva, but Josh Isaac's going to chip that one away for the Lakers.
On that 2-on-1, Kozakowski does a great job, and Curry doing an even better job maintaining or playing the 2-on-1, but for Matt Minerva, he was the man closest to the net with the puck off his stick, and I would like to see him try to space himself out a little bit better to stretch Curry out, try to get the pass over rather than forcing his teammate to make the shot.
Now that third line out there for Buffalo State, we know that speed they have with Vadim Vizhjankin getting a good pass into the zone to Kozyrev. Kozyrev, a good job that time with a nifty move back to the point. Big shot fired, saved by Kozakowski, and he's going to cover that one up, and a great job by him using that leg pad.
And a great cover by Kozakowski. If you bounce that rebound out or you can't even keep your leg in that position as he was completely outstretched, Zach Remmers on the doorstep would have buried it. He's got 12 goals this season, one of the better players for this Buffalo State squad. So for Kozakowski, the younger goaltender, hasn't made too many starts this season, or his career, I should say, and a really heady hockey play by Kozakowski in net.
As Andrew Loger wins that faceoff for the Bengals. John Colley controls, but his pass is intercepted by Antonucci. Back to the point, swung back around for Colley, just went past his stick, and now Loger controls for the Bengals. Back to the point, Troy Button fired kind of a pass there, came off, and a good opportunity for rebound in front. Pass by Coley, and that went off the pad, and a good save once again by Steven Kozakowski. Sullivan harassed, and a big hit laid on him by Charles Barber. And now Molinaro will carry in for the Lakers. Molinaro trying to wrap around, finds a pass out for Vance. Vance couldn't control for a moment, now he does. Vance, shot from the point, rebound right in front. Mac Lewis tried to chip it, and once again a good save by Emil Norman.
And it looked like Norman lost his positioning in net a little bit, but such a good job staying aggressive. He wasn't necessarily in the best position left to right, but when you're so out in front on the top of your crease, you cut down the angle tremendously. And for the Lakers, it's hard to generate a lot of offense. You can't really pass it across the crease as he's out in front. So Norman's been nearly flawless this entire game, obviously giving up 1 goal in that first period, but I've been so impressed by his play, as well as Steven Kosakowski for the Lakers.
Yeah, and according to live stats, 26 shots on goal for the Lakers, so that's already 25 saves for Buffalo State. Shot by Vance, rebound in front, Spink couldn't put it home. As Allen back to Vance, firing a shot, that one went wide, as Spink behind with Kirkby. Spink, good work behind the net to get it to the point, back to Vance. Vance fakes a shot, now fires a shot, and another save by Emil Norman.
Yeah, and one thing that this Buffalo State team defense does so well is their forwards, their wingers really do a great job attacking the point. You've seen it so many times where the Lakers defense, they have to fake a shot and try to go around them. You saw one play that really stands out was Vadim Vizhdankin, or Nikita Kazirev, I should say, just stood right in front of Carter Allen for about 3 or 4 seconds. Carter Allen trying to make a move early in that first period to get around him, but he was unable to do so. And again, for Oswego State, you're trying to generate offense from your back end, but Buffalo State makes it really difficult to do.
Pizarro's going to lose that face off to Sam Maddox, and Buffalo State with an easy exit. Reed Bibb trying a stretch pass up for Minerva, but Carter Allen beats him. Pizarro now right here in front of us at center ice, as he's going to do a good job there, but a better job by that Buffalo State defense. Back to Hayden Ford, and Ford will carry for the Bengals. Ford, a nifty move and a good pass there to Sam Maddox, who's moving with some speed, and he got hit hard. Might have been a little bit high by Carter Allen.
It looks like Maddox's head was down for a moment, and really the body just goes right through him and Carter Allen. A great hit, and a good job by the Lakers to be able to kind of retain possession of the puck. Usually when you see a big hit made at center ice or in the middle of the ice, it creates a turnover or a rush the other way, but Lakers standing tall in their positions.
A rush the other way, now an opportunity for the Bengals. Shot went just high and wide of Kosakowski, using all of his 6'3" frame to try to steer that one away. It's back behind the net, Vance. Isaac controlling for the Lakers. 4:45 remaining in the second period. 1-0 lead for the Lakers on the first period goal by Jody Sullivan, as Buffalo State trying to get a line change in, and that one's going to go into their bench. And Matt, still no, as now I almost jinxed it, as there's some scuffling there at center ice, but other than that, no penalties so far in this game. So kind of surprising in a game between two, you know, they're fast teams, but they also have that physicality element.
Yeah, they're both two of the better teams in SUNYAC play. You look at Buffalo State under Coach Steve Murphy, they had broke the record for most wins in a single season back-to-back years, first in 15-16, and then again in 16-17 with 18 wins. So this is a program that Steve Murphy's built up, and when you're facing two good teams, and you see with Plattsburgh and Oswego State especially, when the two teams are at their best, the physicality just increases. And it's been impressive that they've played a physical game, but not necessarily a chippy or a dirty game.
Yeah, and obviously the hit by Carter Allen, really probably the biggest hit of the game so far, but obviously everything's been clean, as Gillespie tried to find Zizek, but it's taken away by Vizhdankin. Vizhdankin harassed that time by Broman, almost had a great opportunity in front of the net, but getting it up on the wing to Kozyrev. Kozyrev tried to get a pass across, but tipped by Zizek momentarily, and now Zizek has it at center ice. Had Broman 2-on-1, but Zizek just could not control that pass. Carrying it once again is Vizhdankin, the captain of this Bengals team. Took a shot, and Gillespie made the block, and now the Lakers going in 2-on-3. Broman puts on the brakes, and he's going to swing a pass behind the net to Mac Lewis, who's going to take out Charles Barber.
Yeah, and again, for this Buffalo State team, 3:40 left to go in the second period, trying to generate some offense, and they've been doing it mostly on the rush, haven't done a great job sustaining control zone time as they try to do it here.
Good opportunity there by Brian Colburn, but Oswego State looking to clear the zone, shot from the point, and it's going to be kept in that time. That's a good job by Barber. Lewis battling alongside the near boards, a chip pass up to Sullivan. That one went a little bit too far, but Sullivan will battle down low. Zach and Sullivan battling for the puck. Molinaro jumps in there as well, as Hayden Ford joins his defensive partner, and Ford's able to chip it away for the Bengals. 3:05 remaining in this first period. Still a 1-0 Lakers lead. Luke Owens alongside Matt Watling, as Brian Colburn trying to get a pass over to Loger. Loger's going to chip it in and chase, as Max Sullivan gets back over to his defensive partner in Tyler Antonucci. Antonucci trying to exit the zone to Kirkby, and now Spink moving with some speed. He's got Antonucci trailing. Spink moving in, dump pass Antonucci. Antonucci goes to the backhanded shot. Rebound was there, and interesting decision there by Tyler Antonucci to go to the backhand.
Yeah, and both Antonucci and Novik jumping in on the play. They've played together the last couple games here, both games against Morrisville, and surprised to see both of them jump in. Usually when one jumps ahead, Antonucci, you probably want to see Novik drop back a little bit, but the communication from this team for Oswego State has been pretty good so far, so it allows the two wingers to drop back, and again, you saw Novik racing back once Antonucci fired the shot.
And again, O'Connor carrying behind the net for Buffalo State, getting a full line change. Scorpio trying to move in with some speed, and a good poke check that time by the goaltender, Emil Norman. Buffalo State trying to get something going, maybe some extracurriculars behind the net, no call as Carter Allen controls for Lakers. Stretch pass to Scorpio. Scorpio trying to find a Carlo to Pissarro. Chipped and an easy clear away by Emil Norman. Allen now controls at the line. Pass over to Vance. Looked like he wanted to rip one, but he doesn't. Back to Allen. Allen firing a shot. That one way high. And Buffalo State now battling down low. It's going to be Alex DiCarlo jumping in for the Lakers. Emerson using his body. Trying to get it out, but now it's going to be an easy clear for the Bengals going the other way. Vance, a good defensive effort there that time as Toolpain tried to chip it around, but Vance a good job positionally for the Lakers. Emerson's just going to clear that one. It looks like the Lakers need a line change.
Yeah, they do, and now you get out that second line with Zizek, Broman, and Gillespie. Haven't generated too much offense. They've had a couple rushes, but couldn't get a lot of great chances on net, and they've got to look to do that here with the last minute or so of the game.
Sam Maddox looked like his pass was going to be a good one, but it's taken away by Zizek. Zizek tried to get a pass across for Gillespie, but a great play by Troy Button to kind of just get his stick in the way of that pass. McMillan tried to find Zizek, who's wide open in the high slot, but it's tipped away. 55 seconds to go in the second period. Zizek, shot from the point, goes just wide off the stick of Mike Gillespie. Bengals maybe just trying to run out some clock here. 45 seconds to go. As Sam Maddox, a good play there along the boards. That's Matt Minerva entering the zone 1-on-3. Minerva, good use of the backhand as he's harassed that time by McMillan. Minerva is trying to find Reed Bibb, who now controls it, and a pass out to the point. Shot whistled wide, and that one a good opportunity for a rebound in front by Barber. Barber, pass, shot from the point. Looked like that one kind of fluttered, and an easy takeaway by Curry with 20 seconds to go in this second period.
And a smart play by Curry to get out of the defensive zone and just chip it in. 15 seconds left. You want to just try to keep it out of your net. No real chance to generate a lot of offense with such a little time left.
Minerva still on the ice for the Bengals. He's been out there for quite some time, and as both teams with 5 seconds to go will kind of just pass it around the net of Kozakowski, and we're going to get what looks to be an offsides, or could it be our first penalty?
It looks like it was the puck was played with a high stick, so as the Lakers went to touch it up, with 0.3 seconds left, you almost want the play just to run out and call it a day, but we'll have a bit of a ceremonial puck drop here in the neutral zone.
Right, as it looks like the puck will be dropped. Still no penalties in this game. Of course, the high stick just results in a face-off outside the zone, and really, I can't remember the last time we got through 2 periods of a game here at MCC with no penalties, as that really did look like a ceremonial puck drop. Neither team really going for that. As we end the second period, Oswego State still leads 1-0 over Buffalo State.
Yeah, and I thought the Lakers played a really good period. I thought they controlled the puck a bit more. And one thing that Buffalo State hasn't done as much as Lakers is sustained zone time. Buffalo State, a lot of rushes and back the other way. You can't be one and done against this Oswego State team. It's because when you see a lot of the turnovers that Oswego State ends up making, it's a lot of times trying to clear their zone after a long or a heavy shift. And for Buffalo State, they haven't forced Oswego State to take many heavy shifts over 30 seconds in their own defensive zone.
And one number that really stands out to me, Oswego State doubling up Buffalo State in terms of shots on goal, 30-15. And as you mentioned, just not a lot of grade A opportunities for Buffalo State so far this game. And for both teams, obviously moving into the third period, I think if you're Buffalo State, you're in a pretty good position, only trailing by 1 goal.
Yeah, you definitely are. Try to get some offense in the first 5 minutes of the game, of the period.
As both teams go to the locker rooms, we're going to take a quick break here on WTOP 10 Hockey Night in Oswego. When we come back, Brian Rudman and the guys will have the highlights from that second period. Lakers lead 1-0.
And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the second intermission report right here on WTOP 10. Once again, alongside Pat Machado and Mike Morano, I'm Brian Rudman as the Lakers continue to lead the Buffalo State Bengals 1-0 through 40 minutes of play. But before we break down what we saw in the last 20 minutes, we're going to give you a quick basketball update from the Max Zeal Gymnasium as it's Oswego State Lakers hosting the Geneseo Knights. And you see Oswego up 27-20 in a big SUNYAC matchup for them.
Yeah, definitely. Oswego looking to bounce back after their loss over the weekend against Potsdam there, as they really couldn't get it going there, and letting Isaiah Brown hit 42 points against them was a big kill. So they've been trying to slowly kind of rebound from that, especially.
All right, now moving to what we saw in the middle period of this game. It was a really clean period. Once again, the Lakers staying out of the box, something we haven't seen from them all year long, but they're doing a good job of it tonight.
I also think this has to do with them not necessarily going in for every single hit or fighting for every single puck in the corner. We've seen Oswego kind of shy away from doing these things. It's mainly been Buffalo that's been the initiator. Of course, Oswego State's not going to shy away from anything that does result, but the physicality game is on Buffalo's side so far.
Now, when it comes to physicality, Pat, you mentioned that Oswego maybe not being as aggressive tonight. Is this something you think we'll see from them the rest of the way this season?
Potentially, at least for these next two regular season games. Come playoffs, of course, the physicality aspect of hockey in any level is going to rise when you hit the playoffs, as you see the referees kind of put their whistles away as they don't want to decide the outcome of the game. And I think that we're going to see a little bit more of it tomorrow, as it's going to be the last full game they play before playoffs, but it's expected given the situation they're in.
Absolutely. Now, looking at the man between the pipes for the Lakers, Steven Kozakowski. Mike, I'll start with you. What have you seen from him? This is his second game in a row that he hasn't given up a goal.
Yeah, I don't think he's also been tested as much in this game overall. We saw 15 saves here, no goals allowed. Second period, he did see a lot more actions. Buffalo State seemed to pick up the pace just a little bit, but I also think that a little bit of this credit has to go to Emil Norman as well, the Buff State goalie. I think both goalies are putting on a great performance here as well.
Now, obviously, Kozakowski hasn't been tested as much tonight as he has in recent games, but is this something how important is it for the Lakers to have strong play from Kozakowski?
Extremely. Goaltending has been an issue for the Lakers this year, and now that Kozakowski is pretty much taken the starting reins away from David Richet, I think the 2 years that we've seen him sit on the sidelines is beginning to show. His hockey knowledge is incredible. He's smart when covering up the puck and keeping play moving. And if he was facing tougher shots, I think he would still be able to keep up with most of them. Maybe he'd let one or two in, but he's been playing strong throughout the night.
Now, we haven't seen Buffalo State really get anything going. As we mentioned, Kozakowski hasn't been tested as much as he has in recent outings. Have they had a vanilla showing so far today?
In the first period, I think so, but I think in the second period they kind of picked up a little bit, being a little more aggressive, but overall I think they could be showing a lot more aggressiveness, really make your presence known here. Again, still a 1-0 game. It's not like they're out of it completely. Again, one goal turns us completely around here, but I would like to see a lot more aggressiveness from them. They have been breaking up a lot of plays too, but it seems like the frustration factor is picking up for them. We saw Brendan Zach physically frustrated on the ice here as he's not getting any of his shots generated here, so I think they need to pick it up as much in the third period.
Now, what has caused Buffalo State to really become frustrated? What have the Lakers done so well tonight?
Oswego is just playing a very simple game, and it looks like Buffalo State is chasing the game. A lot of it has to do with their sustained zone time. The majority of the chances of Buffalo State either come off the rush or the rare Laker turnover that is in a good position for the Bengals to pounce on.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll break down the second intermission. We'll break down the second period more, excuse me. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the second intermission report right here on WTOP 10. It's the Lakers up 1-0 on the Buffalo State Bengals through 40 minutes. Once again, Pat Machado and Mike Morano. I'm Brian Rudman. Before we get back into this game, let's take a look at what else has been going on around the SUNYAC, because obviously last weekend of the regular season, big impact on what we could see next weekend in the playoffs.
So Plattsburgh still leads Morrisville by and this time it's a score of 5-2. Fredonia is still up on Cortland and Fredonia will come in here to the wheelhouse to play Oswego State on senior night here on Hockey Night in Oswego. But this is big for Plattsburgh, as this win will pretty much sure up a spot on them, and Fredonia can get back into the race, jumping both Cortland and Morrisville, setting up a big final night to decide who gets that last spot.
Yeah, definitely some entertaining stuff going around the SUNYAC right now. But in this game, as we see Oswego obviously up 1-0 on Buffalo State, Oswego has been efficiently physical tonight. Pat, you mentioned it. They haven't been overly aggressive. But what have you seen out of them in the physicality department?
I like that they're not taking bad penalties. We saw before, again against Geneseo, they took a couple of bad penalties. They were overly aggressive at some points here, but they're doing it to a point that they don't have to draw a lot of bad penalties, so I do like that enough there, and it hasn't been hurting them enough there. I would like to see them be a little more aggressive going into this third period, because Buff State really turned it up in the second period, so if they're able to match that, it seems like they could try to stop a lot of these chances that Buffalo State had in the second period.
And I hate to sound like a broken record, but penalties isn't the only part of it. Injuries is another one. You don't want to take a needless injury in a game like this when you have a big playoff game against an opponent that's still to be determined, of course, but that game and the game afterwards, you want to save all your players for that. Now is not the time to be getting into these iffy plays.
Absolutely. Now, every time we have a game in the wheelhouse where Oswego State's at home, we talk about how the crowd in the student section has such a big impact on the game itself and can shift momentum from one side to the next in an instant. We haven't really heard that much out of the student section tonight.
Yeah, I mentioned it before that the crowd really plays a big part in this and really drives this team. But in a low-scoring game like this, they haven't really been too invested in it enough, and I think that needs to change. I understand with one goal, maybe they're expecting a bigger turnout in terms of goals there, but it is hard to kind of get connected here, but the Lakers do need it going into this third period, especially to finish this game out.
Yeah, it's kind of a two-way street in a way when we talk about crowd noise and the players. Yeah, the crowd can urge the players on and get them going, but the players, in a sense, also have to get the crowd going. And in the type of game that we've seen, you're not really going to see it that much.
Absolutely. We'll have to see if Sweet Caroline can get the crowd going here in the wheelhouse. But now getting back to how these teams have looked, do either of these teams look playoff ready right now from what you can tell?
I don't think this is a game that we can really judge it too much on. Certainly for the SUNYAC, Oswego State looks ready. Buffalo State, they might be there. They've shown some flashes. They haven't sustained anything. So I don't think that they necessarily look playoff ready. Oswego State, though, you really can't judge it too much.
All right, now before we go, are you guys sticking with your predictions that we made in the pregame show?
I'm going to modify mine a little bit. I still think that this one could potentially go to overtime. I think this one's going to be a 2-1 win for Oswego State. I predicted a low-scoring game, and that's what we got.
Yeah, 7 goals isn't really going to cut it here, for me at least, so I'm going to notch it down a little bit. I'm going to say 3-1 Oswego at the end of this one.
You know, I'm going to switch mine. 2-0 Oswego. I think Kozakowski stays strong between the pipes. That's all the time we have for the second intermission report, but don't go anywhere as we'll be back with the post-game coverage. We're going to go to break. After the break, Luke Owens and Matt Watling with the call to the third period. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10.
Welcome back inside the Marano Campus Center Ice Arena. Luke Owens joined alongside once again by Matt Watling, and still a 1-0 score in favor of Oswego State. And Matt, strong play out of Oswego State goaltender Steven Kozakowski tonight.
Yeah, 15 saves so far, 9 in that second frame. And talking about frame, his big frame makes it so much easier for him to kind of set up and get those and limit those second chance opportunities, because he gets positionally sound so quick. Just short, quick movements is all he needs to get set. And when you're positionally set in your stance, it makes it exponentially easier to make those saves and those second chance opportunities. Hasn't given up too many second chance opportunities. I thought the defense through the first 40 minutes of play has done an excellent job clearing those out. And even the forwards and the wingers really do a great job back checking, collapsing a little bit in front of Kaz, not too much to the point where you're letting chances get from the point and go in. But the Lakers really doing a great job limiting those second chance opportunities for Buffalo State, something that they need to really work on if they want to get back into this game.
And only a 1-0 lead for the Lakers. We'll see if they can add on or if Buffalo State has an answer, as Sam Maddox will face off against Anthony Pissarro. The two former teammates at Buffalo State. Face off won by Maddox, and we are underway here in the final frame between Oswego State and Buffalo State. Buffalo State a good opportunity in front to start the period. Of course, the Bengals playing for third place as DiCarlo with the breakaway to start the period. DiCarlo takes a shot. That one went wide, and Antonucci plays at the point. DiCarlo using his speed that time for a good opportunity, but kind of just fired that one a bit too wide, and he's keeping that forecheck applied.
And a great job by DiCarlo, just chipping it around Troy Button. You have the advantage when the defender's kind of closer to you and he's unable to make that turn. That's when you lose a lot of speed as a defender. So for DiCarlo's sake, a great job just getting around the defender and again, trying to go glove side on Emil Norman. Not a lot of room there as he just fires it wide.
Maddox chasing Zyzik that time, but Zyzik will exit the zone on a pass to Max Novick, moving in with some speed. Novick slows things down, looking for a pass to Carlo. Couldn't control it there as now two good opportunities for the Lakers freshman to start this third period.
Looked like he was trying to get a pass over to someone in front of the crease. No one really home as Gillespie was covering the point from Novick, and Zyzik was just jumping onto the ice and trying to get into his position.
As Cody Simons touches up there, a 1-0 lead as we look around the SUNYAC. Plattsburgh up 6-2 on Morrisville State, and Fredonia hanging on to a 3-2 lead over SUNY Cortland. Of course, two big games, and Plattsburgh showing out strong against Morrisville State.
Yeah, and for Cortland's sake, this is a really tough loss, making it almost, or assuming if they end up going on to lose the game if the scores hold, really critical. They need to go out and beat Buff State tomorrow, and for Fredonia, if they can win tonight and beat Oswego, they'll be most likely in the playoffs despite starting the weekend in last place.
Broman, a nifty move, trying to wrap around, he stuffs it in and scores! Travis Broman on the wraparound, and Oswego State leads 2-0.
Yeah, coast to coast for Travis Broman. Nets his first goal in a couple games, and a great timing for that early on in this third period. The crowd back activated as we watch the replay. Broman coast to coast, gets around one man and tucks it, and you kind of see there, it looks like it's Gillespie on the doorstep, ties up the stick of the defender on the kind of covering that backside, makes it so much harder for Emil Norman to get around, and for Broman, he shouldn't be untouched around the net coming to the other side. So Gillespie, a nifty play there, tying up the defender, making it that much easier for Broman to get to the back post.
Big goal there by Travis Broman, and the Lakers now lead 2-0, looking for some more. Broman carried in for a second, but he was disrupted by Vez Jonkin, as the Lakers now lead, of course, 2-0, and you can kind of feel the life inside MCC starting to pick up here as, you know, the first two periods, maybe not the offense you're expecting from the Lakers, but they wake up a little bit here as Vez Jonkin carries in, fires a shot. That one went just wide, and it swings around. Buffalo State now trailing by 2 goals and going the other way, 2-on-1. Here comes Zyzik. Zyzik has Molinaro. Zyzik moving in, backhand pass. Molinaro took a shot and a good save by Emil Norman. And with 18:10 remaining in this final period, we're going to send it to our ringside reporter, Michael Gross. Michael, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. Well, a gorgeous goal coming out of the Oswego Lakers zone. It was a puck that was sent forward into the neutral zone, and Broman carried it from that near side all the way and the wraparound. But you got to be careful with a 2-goal lead. They say that that's the most dangerous lead. You could start to get complacent, and it could slip away just like that. So, Luke, Matt, tell the story. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Thank you, Mike. And shot from the point that time by Troy Button. Fan shot goes off the post. And a good opportunity in tight. Bowes trying to harass Vance behind the net, but the Lakers will exit the zone as just a moment ago that shot ringed off the pipe and almost taking out the Buffalo State assistant coach there on the bench was that pass. As Plattsburgh State, of course, leading Morrisville State 6-2, and those two teams right now currently are tied at 10 points. On the outside looking in as Cortland currently in the 6th spot, but if Cortland loses, Plattsburgh would jump right into that final playoff spot.
And for Plattsburgh, you play Morrisville again tomorrow night, so if you can sweep the weekend, it looks like they might jump in to not only the 6th seed, but also leaping over Potsdam, the 5 seed, to get 14 points. Won't be able to get a home game this week, or this playoff, but again, for Plattsburgh, a team that really struggled early on. I think they went 0-3 to start the season. Really impressive kind of bounce-back performance for them this entire season in Steve Moffat's first year at the helm.
And that's a team in Plattsburgh State, as Kozakowski steers that one away. They're very young, but they've kind of come together down the stretch here as Kozarov, a big shot and a good save by Steven Kozakowski to preserve the shutout. Vezjonkin now controlling along the near boards, battling with Curry. Vezjonkin trying to get a pass to the point to Button, but it's stolen away by Sullivan. Sullivan harassed once again, and he's going to recycle back to McMillan as Curry trying to chase that one. Kind of a sloppy pass by McMillan, and Buffalo State can keep that heavy forecheck going, but Curry able to get it to center ice. Cody Simons going to slide that one in for Kozakowski, tried to cover it, but cannot. 16:55 remaining. The Travis Broman goal gave the Lakers a 2-0 lead here in the final frame. Moving in with some speed here, and a good nifty play, a shot, and a better block that time by Tyler Curry as Matt Minerva was looking to get a goal for the Bengals.
Yeah, not a great shift for the Lakers. A couple turnovers in your own end. Kazakowski can't glove down and hold for a rebound early in the sequence. And for the Lakers, this is when you struggle. When Buffalo State now gets a line change, you haven't gotten one just yet. So it's crucial just to get it in deep and try to get off for a line change.
As Scorpio moving up with some speed. He had Spink, but they're going to whistle that offsides. And Matt, kind of cycling back to that Plattsburgh point, they're a young team, but they're so well coached, and we know the program history. So if the Cardinals can sneak into the SUNYAC playoffs, it seems like they're a team that could really cause some havoc in that first round.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you see, a couple of years ago when Oswego State lost to Fredonia, I believe this one was 1-0. When you have a hot goaltender or a good goaltender, anything can happen, and Plattsburgh's got that in Jimmy Parita. So any team here in the playoffs for the SUNYAC don't want to face Plattsburgh. Much rather a team like Morrisville or even a team like Cortland where you kind of know what you're getting out of them.
As Antonucci is going to swing that around to Passero. Passero tried to get a pass to Emerson, but instead it's to the point Novick. Novick trying to kind of just send that one around as Mitch Emerson will chase for the Lakers. He's tied up that time, as with 16 minutes to go in the third period. No penalties on the board, and like I said earlier, very rare between two SUNYAC rivals as that pass intercepted by Max Novick. Novick up to Passero for a moment, but it chipped away to center ice, and Passero a good job controlling his stick to get the puck deep in the zone. Passero battling down deep, trying to find a pass out in front, but no one was home, and now Antonucci is going to have to chase that one all the way down. No icing, of course, as that was the Lakers that swung that pass down. 15:30 remaining as Isaac gets a pass up to Travis Broman. He had the second goal just moments ago for the Lakers. Broman moving in, had it stolen away, but now he has it once again behind the net. Broman harassed by Charles Barber, and a pass over to Isaac, trying to find Gillespie in the high slot. Gillespie almost had a good opportunity there, but instead he's going to pass to Vance, firing a shot, and a good save that time by Emil Norman using the blocker.
Great little tape-to-tape or tic-tac-toe pass by the Lakers as Gillespie gets it over to Allen, and right back over to Vance. The best chance I think the Lakers defense has had at the net. That quick movement, it doesn't let the Buffalo State Bengals get their forwards and wingers out there set and trying to block shots. But for the Lakers in that sequence, you need to get someone in front of the net. Norman makes an easy first save, and no one can put home the rebound.
And then, of course, Emil Norman, as you mentioned, he's done a great job with rebound control and really using his full body, and he's been impressive. Of course, 2 goals allowed, but that Broman one, just a talented play by Travis Broman as Button fires a shot, and it's back to his D partner. Charles Barber took a shot, and it's deflected out by Carson Vance. Swung around once again behind the boards as Andrew Loger chasing that one back to the point to Charles Barber. Barber is going to swing it behind the nets, controlled by Allen. Allen up to Molinaro. He's got Sullivan in the middle at center ice. Good pass there to Sullivan. Sullivan back to Molinaro. Molinaro tried to take a shot, but a good job by Charles Barber. And Barber, to me, has been really impressive for the Bengals defense so far tonight.
Yeah, just such a defensive, steady presence as a nice hit there laid by Carter Allen. And when you look at Barber, he kind of brings so many of those tendencies he learned from Plattsburgh with Emery at the coaching helm. Just so defensive-minded, so physical and tough. And then again, the offense able to flourish here in his last season of college hockey.
Yeah, and even with that added offense, the defense looks strong so far tonight as Buffalo State trying to get something going, trailing by 2 goals. Shot from the point, easy glove save there by Steven Kazakowski, looking for his second shutout. Of course, the first came last weekend against Morrisville State, but only faced 11 shots in that game, and he's faced a little bit more here tonight.
Yeah, and really just an impressive performance by him tonight. Not a lot of grade A chances by Buffalo State, and I think that's just a testament to the Lakers able to clog up the slot, clog up the neutral zone, and force Buffalo State, again, one and done. They haven't generated a lot of offense, so this face-off here is so crucial for Buffalo State. Try to get their cycle game going and get it back to the defense for some good chances.
As Ben Butcher kind of chipped that face-off, and Brendan Zach trying to keep it in for the Bengals momentarily. It looked like Butcher lost his stick, and that could hinder the Bengals offense here. Spink pass to McMillan, and Brown able to exit the zone up to center ice. Spink and Kirkby moving in 2-on-2. Kirkby taking a shot, and a good block that time, controlled behind the net by Spink. Spink harassing, he's going to take down his man, and it looks like that's going to be a call going against the Lakers as Tanner Spink will look to be the man going to the box, and we'll get our first penalty of the game as soon as Oswego State's able to touch the puck, but empty net here for Buffalo State. They get the extra skater on. Long stretch pass, though, and that's going to go all the way down. And that will be a penalty going against Oswego State, and our first of the game.
Yeah, and for Tanner Spink, falls down to the ice, ends up tripping his man on the sequence, and it seems like the fans here aren't too happy. I mean, that's a pretty clear-cut call. When you hit the ice, you got to control your stick a little bit better than Spink did. And for the Lakers, it's a real test. You look at this Buffalo State power play, they're coming in 18%, nothing tremendous, 5th best in the SUNYAC, but for Oswego State, you've got to do a better job. This is a power play that has so many talented forwards on there. You've got Vezjankin, you've got guys like Kazirev, and you've got heavy shots from the point in Barber. You need to do a good job killing off this penalty with a 2-goal lead.
Face-off won by the Bengals, controlled by Simons at the point for Buffalo State. Pass over to Kazirev. Kazirev has Vezjankin. He's going to drop the pass there as Vezjankin over to Maddox. It's going to be a hooking call on Spink as it's just going to be swung around the boards there by Simons. Zyzek controls for the Lakers, trying to clear the zone, but it's kept in for a moment by Vezjankin, and a good job, but now it's going to be an exit as Buffalo State has to recycle. And Sullivan, for a moment there, almost had an opportunity, but a good job by him to just kill some time here for the Lakers.
Yeah, very aggressive penalty kill the Lakers have. Sullivan still in on the forecheck. 2-0. Roaring applause from the fans here as now the Lakers kill off 40 seconds of penalty kill time.
Kozyrov, a good pass that time to Vezjankin. Allen, a big hit on Vezjankin there, and it's back behind the boards to Kazirev. Back to the point, Vezjankin. Over to Simons. Now it's Sam Maddox along the face-off dot. Good pass back to the point. Simmons back in a rip shot. Good save by Kozakowski, hugging the post on the shot from Sam Maddox.
Yeah, and the height of Steven Kozakowski really helping him there, as when he squares up to that post, his shoulder lines up with the crossbar perfectly, standing in at 6'3". So for the Lakers goaltender, fortunate, blessing his height, as it could have been a goal if he was a couple inches shorter.
This is a Oswego State penalty kill that's 6th in the SUNYAC at 78.2%, but it seems like since that Geneseo game, they've really settled in, and we can see that here as the crowd's starting to get into it. Second power play unit out there as Charles Barber now at the point for Buffalo State. Pass, quick shot, and oh, what a save by Kozakowski. Rebound in front, and it's cleared behind. Still in the corner boards. Zyzek controlling the puck, a nifty move, and a good zone exit. Zyzek moving in with some speed. 18 seconds to go on the Bengals power play. Zyzek using that speed and puck control, dumps it behind, control by Charles Barber, and a good hand by this Lakers crowd as Steven Kozakowski has looked so impressive on this penalty kill.
Yeah, a tough save to make for Kozakowski. Couldn't really see it until the last second, but a brilliant save by him to keep the power play
shot from
without
the point,
scoring a goal.
Shot from the point blocked by Curry, and now out of the box is DiCarlo. DiCarlo, fire a shot, he scores! Alex DiCarlo, top shelf, and the Lakers lead 3-0.
A beautiful snipe by DiCarlo. He's been buzzing all game long trying to score goals. You watch the replay, straight in one-on-one, Norman set, just leaving that top shelf wide open, and that's a goal scorer's goal there by DiCarlo. Put up some great numbers down in junior hockey in the CCHL, and that just shows his talent, his raw ability. That's a goal that, you know, not a lot of players can put that shot where DiCarlo did, and just a brilliant goal for DiCarlo, and this game feels almost all but out of reach.
And a great job there by Alex DiCarlo. He kind of came in once the Emerson penalty expired, sprung from that Oswego State bench, and as you mentioned, Matt, I mean, that's a shot that, as a freshman, you see that in Alex DiCarlo, and he has been hot lately. Oswego State leads 3-0. Crowd starting to get into a little bit, and now pushing and shoving with Emerson tied up that time. And we'll see if we get anything from it as Carter Allen is now involved with some pushing and shoving in front of the Bengals bench. And with 10:52 remaining in this last period, we're going to send it to our ringside reporter, Michael Gross. Mike.
Thanks, guys. And right out of the gate, as the saying goes, it just fell right to the stick of DiCarlo, and he slotted it home. Beautiful goal, but the big story here is Steven Kozakowski, only 13 shots on net, has not let up a goal yet. We have a shutout at the moment. If he continues to play like this, like he has played for the last 6 games, he might be the guy in net come playoff time. Back to you guys.
And thank you, Michael. And as we were talking, looks like Oswego State's Mitch Emerson is in the box, but we're going to have a coinciding penalty as the Buffalo State Bengals also headed off to the penalty box, and that is number 26, Braden Doubt. So coincidental penalties between the Lakers and the Bengals.
As it should be. Emerson kind of got his stick and his hands kind of caught up with Doust's, head region, and ended up trying to putting him into the ground by accident or incidental, kind of pushing and shoving. And then what I didn't like is Emerson kind of jawing back at the bench of Buffalo State. That's why I thought the initial penalty maybe goes to Emerson and wouldn't be a 2-2. But again, kind of the contact initiated by both of them, and a good 4-on-4 call by the referees, keeping it even, because this late in the game, you've got 10:52 left in it. You don't really want to give you don't want to call the game so tight as it's been pretty lax the entire game.
It has been in these last couple of minutes. Obviously, some pushing and shoving, maybe some emotion. Buffalo State, of course, they want to win this game. They want to earn these 2 points, but Oswego State now a 3-0 lead, 10:52 to go, and now 4-on-4 hockey. Matt, who does this 4-on-4, who gets the advantage from this?
I think it favors the Oswego State. We've talked about Buffalo State's speed. They've done a good job establishing it, but for Oswego State, they do such a good job on the rush. But maybe for Buffalo State, the best way they generate offense so far has been on the rush, so maybe we'll try to do something like that here.
Good job there by Zach Remmers, the alternate captain, trying to keep it in as we go 4-on-4 for 1:44. Tied up that time is Sam Maddox with Carter Allen, and now Josh Zizek joins in on the scrum. Buffalo State getting some good offensive zone time to start this 4-on-4. Simons, touch pass, shot from the point, good save by Kozakowski, and he's just been stellar tonight, looking for, of course, his second collegiate shutout in as many weekends, as Carson Vance will control for the Lakers. Gillespie moving in on the zone. It's going to be a roughing call on Emerson. Gillespie trying to wrap around, mimicking the actions of Broman. Pass out in front, and Zizek was on the doorstep, but Emil Norman, a good job there to control the puck.
Yeah, good job for Norman. Early on in that sequence, you saw Buffalo State controlling play. Really, when there's less bodies out there on the ice, it looks like it favors Buffalo State when you talk about their ability to just try to generate some offense to some extent. When there's less bodies, it makes it easier for them to cycle and establish some sustained zone time.
As we look around the SUNYAC once again, Plattsburgh State still leading 6-2, and Fredonia up 3-2 on Cortland in the third period. We'll keep you guys posted, and of course, we'll hear from Brian Rubin and the guys on the post-game show on how the SUNYAC will be shaping out, as of course tomorrow will be the last day of SUNYAC games, and Fredonia could be fighting for a playoff spot tomorrow night inside MCC. You won't want to miss that action, of course, on WTOP 10. Pre-game at 6:30, puck drop at 7 o'clock, but here right now, Buffalo State trying to make a run. Vesjonkin takes a shot. That one went wide. It's back to the point, Troy Button. Button over to Barber, keeping it in the zone. Good move there by Kozyrev. Taking a shot, pass out in front. They score! A nifty pass, and Charles Barber is able to tuck it through the legs of Steven Kozakowski, and the Bengals get on the board. It's now 3-1.
And a brilliant goal, or really play by Kozyrev on the primary assist. Looks like he has a chance to take a shot as we watch the replay, and he cuts down right here, has the puck, and just nifty pass over to Barber with Kozyrev right by the circles. The nifty pass, not really expecting it, and lets Barber go to the backhand, stretching Kozakowski's 5-hole wide open, and an easy tuck between the wickets.
And of course, that goal is going to end the shutout for Kozakowski, but he does, of course, still have that 3-1 lead for Buffalo State. Puck now behind the net as Buffalo State trying to cut into the lead. It's 3-1 and 9:13 remaining, and 4-on-4, maybe a little bit of advantage for the Bengals as they move in the other way. Trying to get some offense. Another shot and a glove save there by Steven Kozakowski.
Yeah, and really, Kozakowski trying to get back into this game, and an easy save there. And with 12 seconds left on the 4-on-4, the Lakers trying to just get back to their style of play. And again, that's a bang-bang kind of goal. Don't really put too much blame on anyone as it's 4-on-4, and really anything can happen, a lot more open ice.
Yeah, and of course, Kozakowski had to come across the crease there, and when he came across his 5-hole open, and Charles Barber, a good job finding the back of the net. Bengals, 10 seconds left to go 4-on-4 before Emerson will be sprung from the box, as well as the Buffalo State player, as it's 2 seconds to go. That will end 4-on-4. We go back 5-on-5 as Derek Brown looking for a stretch pass, and it's going to be passed up by Curry. Brown trying to find Molinaro behind the net. He does. Molinaro cycling behind the net. Back to the point, McMillan. Lakers trying to get back to a 3-goal lead. McMillan tied up, tried to get the pass over as Derek Brown gets it over to Molinaro. Swung behind the net, and interesting to see Derek Brown in the extra skater role. But he's really been good, especially in terms of forecheck and kind of just using his size as he always does.
Yeah, he has, and really recently, the last couple games, he hasn't played great. That's why Gostik sat him out for a couple games, get his head right, get readjusted, and since then he's done a much better job. Had a six-game point streak snapped last weekend against Morrisville. He had a pair of points.
As Andrew Loger trying to carry in, but it's intercepted by Tyler Curry. Buffalo State was offsides. They have to tag back up. Brian Colburn trying to get it over to Colley, but instead it's just going to go behind the net of Steven Kozakowski. Curry using that speed, a good pass up on the wing to Mac Lewis, but Lewis lost it for a moment, and now moving in is Vesjonkin. Bobbling the puck there, got out in front, and a good job by Curry, because that was a great pass and a good opportunity as Andrew Loger was right on the doorstep.
Yeah, good chance. Now the Lakers trying to stretch Roman out there. Good look for Brown, but again, you want to make sure you have numbers back, and the Lakers do.
And that's going to be a tripping call, a pretty easy one there as Vazjonkin a little bit slow to get up. And for Buffalo State, a prime opportunity here to cut this lead to 1.
Yeah, it looked like the skater for the Lakers, as we wait to see who goes into the box, it's Mac Lewis. Looked like he got his leg outstretched just a little bit as we await the replay, and you'll see it right here. The outstretched leg just tripping up the Buffalo State forward, and really a tough break as it's Vazjonkin slow to get up, as you said, Luke. And that's a play that's never necessarily intentionally dangerous, but always kind of a little bit risky when you get your knees involved.
As the faceoff won by the Lakers, Buffalo State trying to get something going, but a good clear that time for the Lakers. And for Mac Lewis, already 23 penalty minutes in just 9 games for the Lakers. So he's been an enforcer, but maybe in the box a little bit too much to Ed Gostik's liking.
Right, and of course, this is the team that's kind of not used to taking that many penalties. You kind of see Mac Lewis coming in here kind of like a wrecking ball, a little bit of big, compact forward that sparks a lot of, not necessarily offense, but sparks a good forecheck, and you like what he does. Of course, he had a 5-minute major and I think a 10-minute misconduct against Geneseo, which is kind of part to that penalty minutes. But again, the point still stands. You can't be taking 5-minute majors, and this is a tough penalty to take. Not necessarily, maybe a reactionary move as he just stretches his leg out there, but again, for the Lakers, you got to kill this one off with 7:15 left to go.
As Lewis goes to the box, more of a defensive-minded forward, but it's back to the point, Charles Barber. Barber already has 1 goal, tried to fire a shot, but that one maybe turned out to be a pass as it's back behind the net of Kozikowski. Vance tipped it up, and that's going to hit the netting. But, for Mac Lewis, maybe some signs of offense these past couple games. He had an assist earlier in this one. He had his first goal against Morrisville State, so maybe a guy that can get it going on offense. But as you mentioned, his strength, of course, is on the defensive end.
Yeah, I love the way he plays in the offensive zone, really just a heavy force. Someone that kind of reminds me of a Josh Nanadil type from last season, the transfer from Division I. Only played for Oswego State for a year, but he had this energy about him that was just infectious in the locker room, as Gostik and the players like to say, as the league is able to clear that one down the ice.
Really good clear there by Tanner Spink as there's a little bit of a scrum in front, and now Vazjonkin controls for Buffalo State. Of course, the power play unit on for 1 minute 13 seconds more on the tripping call going against Mac Lewis. Dump pass to Kazirev, who had a great pass on the Bengals' first goal. Kazirev moving in by himself, gets it back to the point. Swinging it back on the wing as it's back, trying to get a pass down low to Maddox, but a good tip play there by Tyler Curry. He's looked really good defensively tonight, and it's back to the point, Cody Simons. Simons, pass over back to Maddox. Maddox circling in, looking for a pass, finds Simons again. Buffalo State passing around, not a lot of shot opportunities. Kazirev back once again to Simons. 40 seconds to go on this power play. Simons, quick pass, back to the point. Bengals kind of moving a little lackadaisically here as it's back to Maddox. Back behind the point, trying to get a pass to Vazjonkin in front, but a good play by Novick to get his stick in the way. Still controlling his Maddox. Trying to find a teammate, 20 seconds to go, controlled by Kazirev. Kazirev tried to pass it to Vazjonkin, but Novick fanned on the opportunity to clear there. 14 seconds to go. Buffalo State hasn't registered a shot on goal in quite some time here on the power play.
And really a brilliant penalty kill by the Lakers. They used kind of an interesting passive or a larger diamond setup, keeping the Buffalo State defenders really at bay with their shots.
We go back 5-on-5. Simons fires a shot. Easy leg save there by Kozikowski as Isaac will come on for Mac Lewis. 5:25 remaining in this game. Oswego State leads 3-1 as it looks like Max Novick tangled up that time. Spink now controls. A good play there in front for a moment by Coley, and then it's almost taken away by Novick for a breakaway, but kept him for the Bengals. Dump pass back to Vazjonkin, takes a shot, and they score! Matt Minerva fired a shot, and another great pass from Nikita Kozirov, and this game is 3-2.
And a great play by Buffalo State. It kind of starts when Oswego State's unable to exit their zone. Back the other way for Buffalo State. A long, heavy shift for the penalty killers there at Oswego State. And just a cross-ice pass as we watch the replay. Kind of losing your man a little bit was Emerson. But again, it's a tough play to make when you got a quick turnover the other way. Lakers had numbers back, but just couldn't get quite established or set positionally on the rush.
Of course, Nikita Kozirov entered today's game with 29 points. 2 brilliant assists tonight that really led to the goals for the Bengals, and now a 1-goal game with 5 minutes to go. Bengals trying to get some more offense going, but it's stolen by Josh Zizek. Back to Gillespie, who maybe should have carried in for a shot, but instead he kind of taps it back to center ice. Vance swings it back around behind the net as Buffalo State trying to get something going. for Matt Minerva. Just his second goal this season. He's only played in 9 games as he's made his impact felt on this game. Behind the net we go as Buffalo State exits the zone with some speed. There's Minerva. Minerva, chip and chase. Here's Allen chasing him. Reed Bibb now controls, and that pass is almost taken away by Emerson. It trickles into the defensive zone of Buffalo State.
Yeah, and again, Oswego State's got to do a good job just getting it deep, slowing things down as Buffalo State almost firing on all cylinders.
As Reed Bibb kind of swung that one around, and here goes Mitch Emerson, who's going to chip it out to center ice. Shot's going to be, once again, behind the net of Kozakowski. Buffalo State looked like they need the line change. 4 minutes to go. 3-2 game, as a little bit too early to be pulling the goaltender, but we'll keep an eye, of course, on Emil Norman as Mitch Emerson's going to just dump that behind the net. Pissarro keeping the forecheck pressure on. Lakers still looking for an offensive goal and try to push it back to a 2-goal lead as Buffalo State has already cut this game from 3-0, 3-1 as DiCarlo steals it away, takes a shot, goes just wide, as here's Pissarro trying to get an opportunity. And Alex DiCarlo, at least 3 times this game, has had some great opportunities to score, and obviously the 1 goal so far.
And again, for Oswego State, bring bodies back behind the puck. It's so important nursing a 1-goal lead, just a couple minutes left. You've got to be thinking defense first. Try to get the offense when you can take it, but don't take any too many risks. Excuse me.
As Brendan Zach taking it in there, the defenseman for the Bengals keeping the heavy forecheck on, but Monero, a little dump pass to Lewis. Lewis up to Sullivan. Sullivan, a nifty move there, but a better job with a poke check by Hayden Ford, and now he's going to go the other way for the Bengals. Ford taken down by Molinaro, no penalty, shot, and a good glove save by Steven Kozakowski. And with 2:57 remaining in this game, we're going to send it to our ringside reporter, Michael Gross. Michael.
Thanks, guys. Well, Buff State bringing it almost all the way back. It's 3-2 now, and yes, once again, I apologize for that little bit of jinx that I had. But anyway, Steven Kozakowski has been a brick wall in front of net, but you got to think for the Lakers, does this affect their mentality if they go into overtime, if they tie or end up losing, worst case scenario? Does it affect their mentality come tournament play? Well, we'll have to wait and see with under 3 to go. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Michael. And of course, for the Bengals, you want all 2 points. They still trail by 1, and obviously they have to tie the game before they could win it, but that's a big 2 points on the line tonight.
It is, and really, you look towards tomorrow's game. Cortland has that need and that desire to win the game as they're currently battling with Fredonia. So this game, maybe not an easier game to win for Buffalo State, but a team in Oswego State that has a bit less urgency than Cortland does. Of course, Buffalo State only needing 2 points to jump over Brockport if Geneseo is able to beat Brockport, a game that I believe they're making up from earlier in the season.
2:20 to go here in the 3rd period, and Buffalo State, a team that beat Geneseo earlier in the year, but last weekend, of course, fell to them. They're on a 2-game losing streak as DiCarlo carries in for the Lakers. DiCarlo, another nifty move, pass to Emerson, a great diving effort that time, and Charles Barber able to clear it to center ice.
Yeah, Barber, you see his complete 200-foot game on full display tonight. A couple of great defensive efforts, some good shots from the blue line, and also getting that goal in tight on Kozakowski earlier on the play.
Maddox carries in for Buffalo State. 1:53 remaining here in this game. Buffalo State staying 5-on-5. We'll see when they pull Emil Norman as the Lakers go 3-on-1. Broman pass to Gillespie, back to Broman. Broman a move, and a good job there by Norman just to clear that one away as the Lakers had a great opportunity 3-on-1.
Yeah, and the puck just caught on the near side, couldn't get it over to Zizek on the far side.
Broman back up to Zizek, drop past Gillespie, back to Zizek, shot. Oh, what a save by Emil Norman. Broman controlling for the Lakers. 1:25 remaining. He'll swing it around to Antonucci. Emil Norman, though, 2 big saves there to keep Buffalo State in this one.
Yeah, with 1:20 to go, you want to see when he gets pulled, and it might be on the next chance the Buffalo State gets out of their own zone.
And now a good opportunity going the other way as Antonucci trips over a stick, gets back up to prevent the 2-on-1, and now a pass to Gillespie as the Lakers move in 2-on-1. Gillespie firing a shot, and that one was blocked, and it looked like it might have hit the head that time of the Buffalo State defender. He's slow to get up. Gillespie with 1 minute to go. Play not stopped after a kind of a scary shot to the head there as Novik controls. Novik back down for Gillespie. Puck out in front. A wraparound opportunity for Zizek back to Gillespie. Lakers need a line change as Novik changes for Allen. Back to the point, Zizek, 41 seconds to go, and Buffalo State no opportunity here to pull their goaltender.
Yeah, and with 35 left to go, again, they've got to try to break out here. But Emil Norman, just brilliant play by him in the last couple shifts. Really just done 2 critical saves, as you said, Luke.
No opportunity to pull the goaltender. They're going to leave him in, but there's only 25 seconds to go here. A stick still on. They're calling for Norman, and he's going to head to the bench with 20 seconds to go. Buffalo State gets the extra skater. Here we go. 17 seconds to go. Pass on the front. McMillan's going to tip it out to center ice. 13 seconds to go. Buffalo State kind of taking their time here as no pass there. Charles Barber up on the wing. 6 seconds to go. Barber, chip pass. Buffalo State moving in. 2 seconds to go. Right out in front. Good poke check by Chris McMillan. And Oswego State hangs on. They're going to win this game 3-2.
Yeah, and a scrum here right behind Kozakowski as pushing and shoving commences. Molinaro just standing there watching, referees trying to break it up. And it looked like it might have been earlier in the play when maybe an unnecessary shot or a push from Buffalo State at the end of the game. Really a game that was pretty cleanly fought until about now. You see Charles Barber being held on by Carter Allen. No pushing and shoving there. Looks like it's, can't quite make a number. Maybe Pissarro breaking out, or rather it's Jody Sullivan getting pulled out from the scrum. And maybe it was Matt Minerva for Buffalo State who's talking to a linesman right now.
And of course the handshake line might be interesting after that, but nonetheless Oswego State winning this game 3-2.
Yeah, just back in those last 30 seconds, so once Buffalo State was able to maintain possession, what I found so brilliant by Oswego State was their ability to play a really brilliant neutral zone trap. You had 4 guys right by the blue line. You had 1 at the red line. You had a strong enough forecheck with that 1 guy, which made it so much easier for Oswego State, and Buffalo State unable to generate any offense or speed through the neutral zone to get a chance with the final seconds ticking off the clock.
And of course, this a game that maybe didn't mean that much to Oswego State, but they still fight hard. They win 3-2. And now looking around the SUNYAC quickly, Plattsburgh State 8-2 over Morrisville State, so you think that they're going to come away with that game. And Fredonia and Cortland still battling with 6 minutes to go. Fredonia leads 3-2, so if the Blue Devils win that game, they're going to come into MCC tomorrow with a heck of a lot to play for.
Yeah, they will, and it'll be so interesting to see how they deal, and also how Buffalo State manages against Cortland. They're still looking to try to fight their way into a playoff spot. With the pending here, Cortland might drop out of a playoff spot if they lose this game.
And we're going to send it to a quick break here, but on the other side, it'll be Brian Rudman and the guys taking us through the postgame. Oswego State wins 3-2, but stay tuned for the postgame report. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego on WTOP 10.
And welcome back to Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching our post-game coverage right here on WTOP 10. Once again, alongside Pat Machado and Mike Morano, I'm now joined by our ringside reporter, Michael Gross, as it's the Lakers getting the 3-2 victory over Buffalo State here in this one. Before we dive into what went down here in the wheelhouse tonight, a quick update on the Oswego State men's basketball team in their matchup against Geneseo. We saw that update from them during the second intermission report. They were up at the time, and we take a look. They're still up 23. You can catch that game on the sports stream for WTOP 10 right here, and a big matchup if they can get this win, a big win for the Lakers.
Yeah, absolutely. And no, this is a big win coming off that loss to Potsdam last week.
Absolutely. Now moving to this game that we saw, what are some of the takeaways that you guys took from this game?
Another 40-minute game from Oswego State, maybe about a 45, 50-minute game if you want to be fine. But at the end of the third period, Oswego State really crumbled. And again, penalties. As soon as the penalties started, that's when they got into trouble. I wouldn't say it was the complete reason, but that 4-on-4, it opens a little bit of extra ice. And pushing and shoving after the whistle, that's one of those penalties that you just don't want to take.
Yeah, especially with Alex Carl getting that third goal. I thought that was going to be it there, but they kind of made him sweat a little bit at the end there. Buff State showing a lot of fight at the end.
Well, Stephen Kozakowski really started off strong in that first and second period, but like I said before, a 2-goal lead is dangerous. A 3 for this team might even be more dangerous. They don't play a full 40 minutes like Pat said, and that's going to be a problem come SUNYAC tournament time.
And now let's take a look at the game summary. What have these stats told you about how this game went down?
Well, let's see there. Oswego now leading, just winning by 3-2 here. I believe the man next to me, Mike Gross, gave us a little bit of a jinx here, I think, as he said that Cos may have gotten the shutout. Did not happen, but they were able to come through here with the win. Dambe in the shot selection again. Face-offs are a big thing there too, and they're able to keep Buff State from not getting a goal in the power play.
Now, one thing we saw from the Lakers, 40 shots on goal. They just kept firing them, but were they efficient with their shots tonight?
I think they were in a way. You see some more shots being taken. A lot of them were in close and didn't really get worked around the zone too much. We talked about quick decisions and making decisions before they really needed to. I think we saw a lot of that.
Pat, I remember you talked about taking that extra second to sort of calm yourself and then take the shot. They had that extra second almost every single time they were in the attacking zone, and they didn't take it. They tried to rush their shots. Maybe that's why they have 40 of them, but they had to have gotten better shots. That's why they only had 3 goals.
Now, in that third period, we saw the Lakers go down a man on 2 separate occasions. How will penalties affect them as they move forward into the playoffs?
Well, at first, that means 2 minutes in your own zone for most of the time. And I think Oswego State really got away with it. Buffalo State's power play wasn't very efficient. They were telegraphing a lot of their moves. You saw like 23 in their Ovi's office calling for the puck, having a stick in the air for 5 seconds at a time. And they're going to sniff that out right away. When you're up against a tougher team, they're going to bite you.
Yeah, especially, and even in the third period, it was a bigger problem that they were able to give up these penalties in the third period late in the game, because it really gave Buff a chance here to come back and try to win this game.
All right, now all things said and done, 3-2 victory for the Lakers. How would you guys grade their performance tonight? Mike Morano, let's start with you.
I'm going to be a little lenient here. I'm going to give them a B+. And if they want to come to me after class next for extra credit, I'm going to tell them that they have to finish up these games as much as possible. So I would give them a B+.
Yeah, Mike, what about you?
Well, you see, I got to go give them a B. You mentioned that they have to finish their games, and they didn't really finish today. It was that last 10, 15 minutes. But overall, they stayed out of the penalty box. They got a lot of shots up on net, so that's a B. It's a good sign moving forward.
I'm a little bit of a stickler. I'm going to give them a B- on that. At the end of the game, also with that little scrum between Flanagan and Sullivan, both players picked up 5-minute majors in game misconduct, so we might see Sullivan out of the lineup tomorrow.
All right, we're going to go to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll wrap up this game. Lakers 3-2. You're watching Hockey Night in Oswego right here on WTOP 10. Hockey Night in Oswego. You're watching the post-game coverage on WTOP 10. Once again, Pat Machado, Mike Morano, and Michael Gross. It's the Lakers taking the 3-2 victory over the Buffalo State Bengals. Now, that's a big game. The Lakers already locked into the 2 seed, but Buffalo State obviously couldn't have afforded to drop this game, and we're going to see some shakeup in the SUNYAC standings. What else is going around in the SUNYAC tonight?
I see a dominant win here by Plattsburgh, 8-2, and I also see Fredonia now getting this win, going into Oswego now with the win is always great. Always great to have some momentum carrying in here, especially against a team like Oswego.
And with that, Fredonia stays alive. They're now 11 points just behind Potsdam, and they have another game to go. So if they can win tomorrow, they will lock up that final playoff spot. Again, Potsdam's still in the mix of things, but they're right on the cusp, and 1 point goes the right way, and they're eliminated.
Yeah, Fredonia kind of coming out of nowhere. We've seen them, at the bottom of the SUNYAC all season long, but, right back in the thick of things late in the season. Now, moving on to Fredonia tomorrow for the Lakers with the win tonight. It's senior night tomorrow. What can we expect out of them? How do you guys think they'll play this one?
Well, because they already have that 2 seed on lock, I'm thinking we're going to expect to see Richer and Hansen get at least a period each in net. Yes, they want to get another win, and they want to keep momentum moving forward, but it is senior night. You give them those minutes. Now, if they were in a position where they were to jeopardize their SUNYAC standing, they might not let Richer or Hansen go. So we could see either one of them in the net tomorrow.
I think tomorrow's game, sorry to cut you off, is going to be more of like a celebration rather than a fight. 13 seniors on the roster, all playing their final regular season game here in the Morano Campus Center. We're going to see these personalities show on the ice. Unfortunately, we might not see Jody Sullivan. We'll have to wait for the word on the league on that.
Now, heading into tomorrow, obviously the big game for the 13 seniors. For them, what do you think a win in that game tomorrow night would mean for them?
I just think it's more of just a confidence booster at that point. Again, this is a lot of their, 13 seniors. That it's a celebration of all of them. But you want to end on a good note, of course. You don't want to lose to a team like Fredonia, who's trying to fight into that playoff spot. I feel like that just leaves kind of bad. Just is bad for that team, I think, personally. I just think that going into the playoffs, it's just not going to be well for them.
Now, we're nearing the end of the season. Is this Oswego State team tournament ready?
Absolutely not. I'm sorry if you want to, throw apples at me or whatever, but I just don't, or it's throw tomatoes, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know where we got apples from.
It's throw tomatoes, but I don't think they're ready. Maybe they're ready for the beginning of the game, but when it comes down to the end, it just, they don't look like the same team.
Yeah, I was going to say through the first 2 periods, I liked what they were doing. Obviously, there could be more improvements as you keep going along here, but this last period really showed to me that they aren't ready. They still can't close out these type of games, and you really want a statement win here. These last 2 games, you really want to tweak up the couple of things here. Penalties were really going well for you until the last period, so it's really just a matter of finishing off these teams.
Big shocker. I do not think they're tournament ready. Less than 60-minute games. That's been the story of the entire season. And when you're going against these nationally ranked teams, when you go and play less to your potential, you're going to get scored on, and it's going to happen a lot more than Buffalo State was able to do tonight.
And nonetheless,
let me ask you, do you think they're tournament ready?
You know, we saw them play a strong 40 minutes. They've looked better in recent weeks, but I have to agree with you guys. They need to show a stronger 60 minutes, especially because they can't get beat down the stretch of the game. Now, thank you for asking me that question, Michael.
You don't get to answer questions a lot.
You're right, I don't. Now, that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow at 6:30 for Hockey Night in Oswego, as they'll get you set for the matchup between Fredonia and Oswego State. But for now, for Pat Machado, Michael Morano, Michael Gross, I'm Brian Rudman, and for our entire crew here at WTOP 10, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.